All right. Um, Bear with me for just a moment here. I just want to make sure I have everything up and running smoothly. Um, so anyway, we'll start off with saying, Shalom. Of course, want to, give all praise unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. So, just gonna be a little open mic tonight. Um, Man, I was looking on the earlier today, something caught my eye. I was looking at the news section right about what's going on right now, and apparently, dealing with this whole, Corolla situation, there's a whole new I got to use coded language, but there's a whole new strain, if that makes sense. Hey, shalom to everyone tuning in. There's a fresh link in the chat if anyone wants to hop on. One brother asked, "What part of America are you in, bro?" I'm in the. I'm not going to say the exact place, obviously, for my safety, but I'll say I'm around the New York area to answer that question. Um, Going back to what I was saying, is there's this new strain going around. I believe it's called Omnitron, if I'm not mistaken. Omnitron. Look that up. Do a Google search on that. All right, look up Omnitron. I believe that's what they are calling it. You're gonna have to fact check that. Um, so that's three of them now, right? That's three of them. You have the original, you have the Delta. Now you got the Omnitron, right? So that just shows us, man, right? That that people thought, that this was gonna go away. This is gonna be easy. It was gonna be here for a couple months and then it was gonna disappear, man. I remember. Um, Excuse me for a second. Right, I remember, going back to, when all this first started. It was I remember people talking about, oh well let's pray that maybe it goes away, next month. Right? Let's pray it goes away by Easter, right? And you saw what happened, man. Right here we are nearly, nearly, 2 years later, man. Hey, mind of God, what's going on, man?
Hey, ETT, how's it going, man?
And I'm surviving. I'm surviving. How about you, man?
This sounds low, man. Sorry, I'm just gonna go on my laptop. I just tried to do it on my phone. I'll be right back.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So while he's doing that, going back to what I was saying, is people were sitting there talking about that, oh well, let's pray that it's only here for, maybe 2 months. And here we are almost, 2 years later, man. It happened in March. So yeah, we're almost, you know, it's almost gonna be 2 years, man, that this all has been going on. And that's it's hard to believe that this has all been going on for this long, man. But that's just, a sign of the times, man. Right? Because what Christ, said to to look out for was what? One of the things that he said was that there's gonna be pestilences. And you can look that word up, right? But Christ said there was gonna be, pestilences in the last times. And I gotta also comment on this. I was just watching a video maybe 20 minutes ago. I was searching online, I was rewatching a some of the history videos. I always like to do that time to time to refresh my memory. Real quick. Hey, mind of God, you there, man?
Yo, End Times teacher, what's up, dude?
I'm surviving. I'm surviving. How about you, man?
Well, you haven't caught the Corolla yet?
Well, as it
Inside
was
joke. What's up, man?
As I was saying, man, I don't know if you heard it, but it was saying that
Mhm.
they have this new strain out there. I believe it's called Omnitron. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah, I'll look it up. I believe the wording is slightly different, but yes, I heard about that.
Yeah, I believe it came out today. They were talking about it because I went on the news and everything I was seeing was only like uploaded, 2 or 3 hours ago. So it's like, oh damn, so this is,
Yeah.
a new thing. Go ahead.
Probably good to call it Omnitron just to avoid the algorithm, but it's technically Omicron. Omicron, Omicron. But Omnitron sounds good too.
Yeah, yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it, but I knew it was something along those words, for lack of better words. But
Right.
yeah, man, I mean, it's and what I was reading, when I was, watching the video in the comment section, listening to what the news people were saying as they were talking about, this is going to be, worse than the other ones,
Yeah.
so I mean, we're definitely, some hard times, man, because as I was saying, people were on there talking about, well, let's pray to Jesus so that, maybe it will go away by Thanksgiving, right? That maybe it will go away by Easter, right? And that
Right.
didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
And it just shows, man, because these Christians are out here. And I remember, man, they were saying that, hey, look, if you want to come to the church, you're going to have to, get that juice in order to come. You know what I'm saying?
I got a good verse for you, ETT, related to this, man. Second Ezra 15:17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So we're starting to see all that stuff literally happening right now, and it's going to just intensify where this new variant of interest is leading to all these travel restrictions. I'll pass it back to you.
Right, right. Hey, Shalom, William, welcome to the show, man.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. But yeah, yeah. Sorry, like definitely on the COVID thing.
Oh, hold
It,
on,
Oh,
hold
real
on.
sorry.
quick,
Yeah, please go
Yeah,
ahead. Sorry, sorry.
call it
real quick.
Corolla.
Don't use the words like that, brother. Just call it the thing.
Okay,
Same
okay.
thing with
Well,
these juices, because you have to watch the words we use.
okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Just, I mean, I don't know. I think in a lot of things, I'll try to be like ambiguous.
There
In
you
a
go.
lot of things, like, they like it may be, I don't know. A lot of things people get hysterical over that maybe like doesn't necessarily like they need to be getting into mass hysteria over and stuff like that. So, and a lot of things it could be like an overreaction. It's just sort of how I see it. Like for some, maybe it's sort of like that. It's sort of like, I mean, yeah, but that's all I'd say. Let me try and uh, good or something.
Just so you know, man, your internet's breaking up again like it was yesterday. You might be on. Uh,
Yeah,
you might have to get
yeah.
another internet.
Let me leave and come back.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
cool, man.
sorry.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
cool. That's cool. But I don't know if you saw it, man, but I sent you a video I was just listening to about 20
Yeah,
minutes ago, man.
yeah, I
You
watched
saw
it.
that?
Well, I saw the first couple
What do you think
seconds, and
about that?
it just made me laugh, man. Like, do you find it unusual in your time online that this many preterists are popping up, or did you always have people like that come by your channel?
I
Because I
mean,
didn't have
I mean,
many
I'll
really.
I'll answer that. I'll answer that. Because I've been seeing, really, if I was to look back at the past, let's just say 4 years, right? I would rarely see somebody on there. I knew people were teaching that, but it'd be very rare for someone to come around, bringing that on the platform.
Yeah.
But within the last year or so, I mean, I've just seen, countless amount of people, coming on, the platform, in the comment section, spewing that madness, man. But I mean, what do
Right.
you think about what that damn devil demon inside joke was on there saying, man? I mean, that guy's a damn joke. You
Well,
seen that?
I didn't go into the. I just watched like a couple seconds of it. Can you summarize it if you watch the whole thing? Like, what's the gist of his argument? Like, what fulfilled that?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. He was basically saying that let's see, he was basically trying to say something along the lines of that the mark was fulfilled in 70 AD when they made everybody, use their type of currency, in order to buy and to trade is what he was
Oh,
trying to
okay.
say.
Oh, so we got another teachers of truth maybe out there.
But he was saying that Christ also returned in 70 AD, and he actually has a book out there because I checked on his channel.
Yeah.
It's either him or someone else because I was just watching, a few of those videos, and there's a guy out there who said, I believe the name of the book is called Jesus was fulfilled in 70 AD. You can look that up on Amazon.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's just like, what the hell are these people talking about, man? That Christ returned in 70 AD. I mean, where are they getting this from?
Right. Yeah, I mean the whole book of Revelation, yeah, you can manipulate a verse or two here and there, but you can't squish the whole thing into human history. That's literally impossible. I don't know, man. What's going on?
Right. Yeah. I see. Like, if I could just like interject,
Yep.
there's it's definitely an interesting thing because like there definitely is a part in, I think, the Gospel of Matthew that talks about how um like when you see maybe the abomination of desolation that like Daniel the prophet spoke about, then you'll see like the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and the Son of Man coming with the clouds, like in the glory of the Father. And then like I think that's maybe in a few places, and that's sort of like that's maybe even a pretty like discussed topic, because he seems to like promise like there are some that are standing here that will not taste death until they see these things, even that like it'll happen within that generation. But then in Revelation, which is supposedly like John of Patmos in like, I don't know, the 90s or something, supposedly there's definitely a few times in there where it says like, come up hither and I shall show you of things like that must shortly come or be. So definitely after he had received the revelation.
My guy, you want to respond?
I didn't. Can you summarize that story, William? What was your point of that?
Yeah, see, yeah, let me
Just
let me just
not to be rude, but if you're gonna quote verses, just let us know and we'll read them, even if you don't want to read them, just for the audience sake. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
I know, absolutely. Yeah, as I was doing that, I sort of saw that too. Let me see. So this is Matthew 16. Is the first one.
The reason why we say that is because the title of ETT stream is called "Let's Get to the Money." And when we
Absolutely,
say that,
absolutely.
that means yeah, that's an inside joke. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So it has Matthew 16:27 to 28, and it says, "For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works."
Wait a minute.
Verily,
His works. Wow,
I know,
what's up with
right?
these Christians? Okay,
Right,
go
right.
ahead.
I'm really into the whole like faith and
Oh, that's
works
true.
thing too.
Right.
And then, but then in 28 it says, "Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom."
Absolutely. Which proves reincarnation for tried and denied. So what's up with that?
Right. And then just for the like, because I mean, there definitely could be. I mean, y'all might have your ear to the grapevine a little more than I do.
Yeah.
Just in that there may be people who are saying like, oh, all of Revelations already passed, or like that they're trying to fit that all into like recorded history already. Um,
Here's the
and
interesting thing.
right.
Just to I don't know if you're familiar with this channel called The Mind of God. He comes around here once in a while, but what he's shown on his
I was just
channel, in
looking through
fact,
your stuff.
yeah, what he's shown, in fact, and I think ETT will at least agree with me to part of this, is that revelation has been happening throughout human history, just with different quote unquote characters or actors, is what he likes to call them. It's now in the final days, what's happening is it's worldwide. That's the unique thing. Let's just say there were currencies or little things that Rome did, or the Persians did, or the Medes did. No worries. They definitely did that, and to mimic the end times. But the unique thing about Revelation is talking about he causeth all worldwide. So that's what's unique about Revelation, clearly. And then it's all the things that have been happening to human history are now culminating to a worldwide deception or agenda and all that kind of stuff. So that cannot be shown to have happened in human history, because you need things like the internet, these this fiat money and technology.
Right.
Hey, look,
I think.
man.
Sorry.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Please.
That was
Yeah,
my
let
point.
me say this. I don't know what's worse, man. The try died and laid to the side guys, or these preterists, right? You got these cats on there from the try died and laid to the side talking about that Babylon's the Vatican City, but yet these preterists, what they say is that it's dealing with the horrors is Jerusalem, and then they teach that the beast is the Roman Empire. So they teach that that was fulfilled in 70 AD, is what
Hmm.
they interpret that speech.
Jeez.
Well, a really cool thing for what we're talking about, because I definitely do think a lot of things happen like cyclically. I might be butchering that pronunciation, but like in cycles. Just in that, like this is from Ecclesiastes. Let me check. 3:15, and this is, I mean, this too is a pretty famous verse,
It's a good
but
one.
it's that which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and God requireth that which is past. So it's like it's gonna happen again, and that sort of thing.
That also proves reincarnation. So man, it's just amazing that when you now read the Bible with your eyes open, you start to see America's been prophesied from the beginning. You start to see that with Sodom being destroyed, and then you also see reincarnation everywhere. So it's amazing. Go ahead, keep going. Sorry, but that's a good verse.
Thanks, thanks. But yeah, so I mean, I would just say, just going back to find that verse when I was just sort of like talking without using the verses, is this is like the beginning of Revelation, and it's like Revelation 1:1, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Right.
And he sends the angel and the servant John and stuff like that. So I mean, I think that's pretty cool, because he's essentially saying like, and they can probably look into it. Obviously, the exact date and time might not be in the written word itself, but I mean that's probably around like 90 AD or something. I mean around there. So like he's saying like this stuff like will come to pass. Not necessarily that like it might not be symbolic of things that have already like happened,
Yeah.
because a lot of people think that about Revelation 12, that they just jump back like 2,000 years ago, and that's and like that's Christ and the Virgin Mary. But yeah, so I mean that's sort of interesting.
Just the fact that they try and do that to me proves that the Bible's true, because if you want to make the Bible irrelevant now, like what's the point? Like why waste all that time going into that detail to squish the book of Revelation? And even that guy who came on last time and was kind of yelling at us, like why would he do that on Thanksgiving? Of all the things that he has to do, why would he come here and yell at us? Right? It doesn't make
It's a good
sense.
point.
It's
Good
like
point. Like
unless
let me add this
unless
in.
we're dealing with the word of
The
God. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Right, right. Now the scripture that William quoted, guys like William Bell, I believe he even brought this up in the Sakari discussion. He brought that up to say, oh, see, that means that it's near, that it all happened back then, because he said things that would happen soon. So see, that proves it. Just like when you deal with how Christ said, in Matthew 24, and these things are near, right? These things are near to happen. So they'll cherry pick these ones to say, well, see, all this happened back then, and those verses prove it. It all happened back then. Mighty
Mhm.
God will throw it back to you.
Yeah, I'm going to add the next verse to what William brought out. Ecclesiastes 3:15. We quote this one quite a bit too. Ecclesiastes 3:16. And ETT now starting to deal with numerology a little bit. 3:16, what 36666. This is the place of judgment. And moreover, I saw under the sun. That also implies that we live on a flat plane, or at least the sun rotates above us. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. Okay. So this is the place of judgment here on earth. So just in these two verses, you can see how deep the Bible is. Just to understand this, you have to understand that God is judging from generation to generation, and we get that from many verses. God require that which is past. So that proves that judgment is happening generation to generation. And then verse 16 talks about how the earth is flat ultimately, or the sun rotates above the earth, and the place of judgment is here. It's not some burning place in the spirit realm. So just in two verses, the Christians can't handle this. It's crazy.
We should have did you ever ask, ITR what they're teaching about hell is? I mean, what are those guys on there teaching about? Did they tell you?
Dude, when we asked them yesterday, like, hey, give us your testimony. He's like, we in a new covenant, bro. So like these guys think that this is heaven, man. They're never going to admit that this is hell. Just like good servant will not. Excuse my list. And RV Truth will not. Why? Because RV Truth's talking about these freaking aliens now, or evil and all this. So they'll never
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I was watching earlier, man. He put up a video, was basically talking about, oh, the last cards that they're gonna play on the people is, this coming alien deception, right? This coming alien deception. They're gonna deceive people with these UFOs. But what these conspiracy guys don't know is that these UFOs are actually righteous, right? That these UFOs are actually the chariots that are in the scriptures. So as I
Yeah.
said, man, whatever way you cut the cake, the government got you, whether you believe they're these conspiracy guys, they're religious guys, or whether it's be in, believing in these aliens, whatever it is, they got you.
Yeah.
Here's a cool thing. If we're talking about UFOs, I haven't necessarily looked into this much at all, but it sort of is talking about like definitely like in the sky and stuff like that. This is Zechariah 5, Zechariah 5:1, and it's when then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. And then it sort of like goes on and on. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it.
Yeah, that's a UFO. That's a UFO.
That actually is in the sequence too, William. I'm not sure how you familiar with my channel, but that's referring to the gospel being preached.
Right.
I wonder.
Okay. Cool. Well, then
I wonder what.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just
Yep.
had a question, just because I actually wasn't looking for that in relation to that. I was interested in the Zechariah 5:7.
Yep.
And behold, there was a lifted up talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. And he said, This is wickedness. And he cast it into the midst of the ephah, and he cast the weight of lead upon the mouth thereof. So what is that woman? Is it wickedness what he's doing, or
Well, I'm
like
glad, William, you came to the right place, my friend. Let's
Great.
get into this. Let's get into this. Okay. So Zechariah 4, talking about the two witnesses. Okay. You can look into that debate that ETT and I had. You don't have to, ETT may not agree with that, but then we're getting into this notion here in Zechariah 5 of a flying roll. Okay. This is referring to after the elect are taken away, then there's the gospel is going to be preached by these angels. And then now you're quoting verse 7, which is great. And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. And he said, This is wickedness. This is reflective of the same language in Revelation of America being destroyed after the Great Tribulation. ETT and I agree on that part. So that's referring to America being destroyed. Okay. And then if you go down to verse 11, it says, it makes a reference to the land of Shinar. Then it shifts the focus to the Middle East. And then that's where the battle in Armageddon happens. So all this language, even in Zechariah, he's talking about a woman and wickedness. That's the same language that you read in Revelation 17 and 18. So all these people that come by here and say, "Oh no, that's already been fulfilled," and they start getting all emotional. All this language is consistent. We could read to them Jeremiah, and we literally read Jeremiah 51, and it's exactly the same language as in Revelation, and same as Zechariah. Like these are all the same people saying the exact same thing. And yes, true, some of these things have been fulfilled in the past, but they're also foreshadowing things in the end times. So
Right. And I would just try to
Yep.
like, just because like in sort of like the fulfillment and stuff, like when we're talking when I think about that sort of thing, just because there's a scripture that, or like a verse that definitely like, okay, we believe that was about this thing that may have happened in the past, just judging from Ecclesiastes, like it might be the same script, the same verse, like from the same book might be prophesied, might prophesy like one event, and then an event like just like it afterwards, and then an event just like it afterwards again. So
I wonder what these cats, these tried, died, and laid to the side guys think about Isaiah the 47th chapter. I wonder what they say. Was that talking about back then? Was that talking about ancient Babylon? I really want to ask them that, because I mean, if you clearly read it, even if you go to the last verse in the chapter, it makes a reference to the merchants. So it clearly shows what it's talking about. As I said, man, these guys, and it's ironic because they'll be the ones on there talking about, well, let's keep it in context, right? Let's keep it in context. And then when you do, they clearly get disproven even by doing that. So I mean, these guys are just, a laughing stock at this point, man.
yeah, agreed. But continue on, William. If you had thoughts on Zechariah, that's just my understanding. So, if
oh,
you have
actually, I just went to Isaiah 47 when ETT brought it up. But yeah, I just think, let me just make sure, because this might be Zephaniah that I'm thinking of. I think it's either Zechariah 13 or Zechariah 14.
Mhm.
Yeah, let me see. No, Zechariah 14. I'm thinking of maybe Zephaniah, but Zechariah 13 is pretty interesting, because obviously, like the Jewish people who do not believe in like Yeshua or anything stuff like that, would like, because that's an interesting thing. Just because like in Judaism, the idea like that like you can see God, or that
Mhm.
God would have a form, like may I mean I don't want to necessarily speak for them, but there may be some that think like sort of like in the scriptures. Well, yeah, that's all I'd say. Sorry, I don't want to go off on a tangent or
Yeah,
anything.
let me
I don't really have something else for Zechariah 3 or 4.
not to interrupt you, but let's, if you don't mind, let's just go to Zephaniah 1. I'll just do a quick impromptu sort of bird's eye view of Zephaniah 1. Let's go through this just to prove the point, just to really put that last nail in the coffin on the ministry of the so-called tried and refined Israelites. Okay. So what happened? We went into Jeremiah, read that to them. They're like, nope. Okay. Then we just went into Zechariah, and they'll reject that as being exactly the same narrative in Revelation. Let's go to Zephaniah 1. Look what's happening here. Zephaniah 1, first and foremost, it's talking about I will consume man and beast. Okay, so it's talking, gives a reference to a beast. Okay, and then just listen to this language that's being described here. Verse 11: How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. So yes, in ancient times there was a place called Maktesh, and then all the merchant people are cut down, and all they that bear silver are cut off. What's that in modern day? All the quote merchant people, all the people that control the money supply in now. Okay, listen to this. Uh, and it shall come to pass at that time that I'll search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees, that say in their heart, the Lord will do no good, neither will he do evil. There's a large group of people. This is the same language as I will sit as a queen and see no sorrow. Where do we see that language in Revelation? The Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. God doesn't exist. This is where Christ was spiritually crucified in the last days. Okay, so listen to this language in verse 12. Now let's go into verse 13. Therefore, their goods shall become a booty, and their house a desolation. What's being desolated in the book of Revelation? It's a place in modern day Maktesh with all these merchants. Okay, so this is talking about America being destroyed in the last days. Okay, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty men shall cry there bitterly. That's exact same language as in Revelation. Okay. Then now what do we have in verse 15? That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Okay. Then listen to this. What happens after America just gets destroyed? There's a battle in Armageddon in the Middle East. Listen to this. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. That's in verse 18, 666. So Zephaniah 1 is saying the same thing as Revelation. So is Zechariah. So is Jeremiah. So who do we trust? I'll trust these prophets, not these dum-dums on YouTube. Okay. You read Zephaniah 1, that's exactly the same as the book of Revelation. I'll pass it back to anyone.
Yeah, man. I mean, as I said, man, these guys are just too much, man. I mean, these guys really just call themselves preterists at this point, man,
Right.
because they believe we're living in the new covenant right now. So I mean, these guys are just worse than Christianity, man, at
You know
this
what we
point.
can call them, dude? We call them Bible squishers. They're trying to squish the whole Bible into history. First of all, they don't even know the history. And then they're trying to squish Revelation into history, man. That's not good, man. They're going to be squished by the Most High.
Hey,
But
well,
yeah,
as I
sorry.
like to say, in order to know the mystery, you got to know the history, right? In order to know the mystery, you got to know the history.
Right.
So these guys don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
William, you can add in.
Right. I would just say like an interesting thing from the book you just or the book you just read,
Yeah.
is the 18th, because it ends with for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land.
Absolutely.
So what do you guys think
Here's the
is
precept
is
for
being
that.
said there?
Here's a
Okay.
precept for that. Yeah. This is also where the Bible is fascinating in terms of numerology. I want people to understand this is not constructed by man. Where are we reading? Zephaniah 1:18, right? That's what you're quoting, William, just to confirm.
Absolutely.
Check out where the precept is. Zechariah 11:18, 118, right? And we were just reading Zephaniah 1:18, right? Listen to this. Zechariah 11:8, 3 shepherds also I cut off in 1 month, and my soul loathed them, and their soul abhorred me. That's a 30-day period of God's wrath. This battle in Armageddon where they're producing all these missiles that they laughed at us about yesterday, the 1,000,000. You think they need those for on Earth? What are they going to do? They're going to shoot 2 missiles, shoot bullets at the sky, at these rocks. They're making millions of these. They're going to just start firing them in the sky. Okay, this is a 30-day battle, and that's what's being referenced here in Zechariah 11:8. That's the precept for Zephaniah 1:18. So if you're asking how much time is that speedy riddance, it's in Zechariah 11:8. I'll pass it back to anyone.
Right. See,
Right.
sorry,
Go ahead.
please. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
My
you
point
can
would be
you can
more
go ahead.
so
Yep.
of all them that dwell in the land, and I might have gotten the language a little wrong there, but or who we talking about? Because I know about America and then the Middle East, like the Valley of Megiddo and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But do you think everyone will be destroyed?
I'll answer that.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is why the Bible, this God does not play around. And this is why, again, the Bible is consistent. The precept for that is a good one, is Isaiah. Okay. Isaiah 10:19 says this, and the rest of the trees of his forest shall be few that a child may write them down. So if you read the book of Isaiah and go to Isaiah chapter 10, you're going to see that this God is planning to burn this entire earth. And this is the way he states it because he's got that much swag. He says the amount of trees that you're going to see left, you could even refer to those as humans. A child could count down how many are left. That's Isaiah 10:19. So yeah, that's the ambition of this God.
Well, that definitely makes sense in regards to. Let me just bring this one up. I think it's the few there be that find it verse. It's Matthew 7:14, and it's because narrow is the gate and difficult is the way which leads to life, and there are few who find it. So essentially saying and that's in relation to the many that are destroyed, few there are that find life.
Yeah. This destruction with this fire is God's entire left-hand side. So it's everybody with the mark of the beast. So just so you know, this is after the Great Tribulation. So America is now burned by the other nations. Essentially what they're doing is they're doing target practice on America. But those missiles are actually really ultimately designed for in the sky. You know, they have this asteroid thing going on. I don't know if you watch in the news. NASA's trying to shoot something at an asteroid to get it diverted or whatever. That's
Yeah, I
them.
seen something like that.
Yeah, that's what they're practicing. That's like God on his left-hand side telling us what's really happening is those asteroids are actual UFOs. And so that's what NASA is for. They're making weapons to go and shoot at rocks in the sky, but these rocks are Christ and his angels. So that's what's going to happen. So
Hey,
I'll
excuse
turn
me
it
real
over
quick.
back.
I'm just gonna use the bathroom if you don't mind.
Yeah, no
Sorry.
problem.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're planning on fighting, against the Most High. And so going back to these, try, died, and laid to the side guys, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw when I was on with them, a while back, they were like, oh, well, all of that footage, all of that's fake, right? All of that's fake. And then
Yeah.
I asked them this. It's like, wait a second. If you go online, say for an example, just to compare it to, if you look up a picture of a satellite, the only pictures you get are, artist illustrations of what they think they look like.
Yeah.
However, if you look up an ICBM missile, you can find real photographs of these. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and especially the people who work in the military. I mean, you have
Yeah.
thousands of people that are, working with these machines. And
Mm-hmm.
what about these, what's the word I'm looking for? The videos where they have out there, them test firing these
Mm-hmm.
missiles, right? They're on there saying that all of that's fake. So, I mean, at what point do these guys cut it? I mean, it's like, what the hell are these guys talking about? Is
Yeah.
everything fake? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's just too much.
Yeah, I mean, then they have to come up with an explanation for what they're doing. You know, there's a NASA campus here in Houston. Like, what are they all doing there? You know what I mean? Like, I've seen the buildings. I've gone there. I've taken a tour of the Space Center. So, okay, I get the Space Center part could be all just like just props and stuff. But like all the other offices, like, what are they doing there? They're all just going there and like just sitting around doing nothing. Like, what do you mean? What they got to be doing something? So, and like the military and the Navy and all that, like, what are they doing every day in Iran and Pakistan and China and stuff?
Right. But
So
going back to these guys, these preterists, man. I mean, I just don't understand how one could believe that all of this happened back then. It's like, wait a second. Well, why the
yeah.
hell are they still on Earth then? Where's Christ at today? I mean, hell,
Mhm.
I'm not even talking about this damn devil, Samuel Owen. I mean, that
Right.
ain't the Christ, right? So, I mean, one could make the argument that it's him, but I mean, we clearly see that guy ain't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You know, so if all of this already happened, well, where's the
Mhm.
Christ at today on the earth? You ask him that, and it's like, well, they don't know. But yet William Bell said we're living in the kingdom today. Come on, man,
Well,
these guys too much.
well, I'll listen to Samuel Owen before Nazariah. Sorry, Nazariah from ITR. My mistake. So that's the times that we live in now, man. This is wild, man. This is getting crazy because I thought they were onto something, man. Like I supported them. Like I watched a lot of their videos, ITR and then Good Samaritans. I would say I learned, probably the most from GMS Atlanta because I watched literally all their videos back in the
Hey,
day.
look,
But
man, all I'm gonna say, man, is that guy Naz. All I'm gonna say is he is a Naz hole. That's all I'm gonna say about him, man.
yeah, I mean he's a Nazalier. He took the Nazali vow, no doubt. He's absolutely beloved. All this nonsense, really, we're beloved, and then you come on these stream and start telling us to meet us in the streets and call us this and that. Where's the beloved and all that stuff? Where did that go? So
Yeah, and it just shows that we won because they had to resort to name call. So
right,
that shows you that's a loser tactic to
yeah,
resort to name calling. There's no reason to do that. And you saw we were trying to be respectful with them. But I mean,
mhm,
they got cut, man. I mean, that's just a damn embarrassment. I mean, they got
yeah,
cut. Let's go over it. They got cut on Babylon. They got cut on reincarnation. They got cut on the UFOs. I
yeah,
mean, we could go on, but I mean, it was getting old at this point, man. I mean, how can those zombies that follow them not see what's going on? You know
right,
what I'm saying?
yeah. Dude, even if a UFO didn't exist at all, but God did exist, I would ask to be taken away in something. Whatever you want to call it, I want to be taken away in that, whatever it is. Okay? So if you
Right.
want to call it a UFO, a chariot, or a cloud or whatever, it's like we got to be taken out of here, man. There's too much going on, man. There people are talking about like boosters and stuff, man. So yeah, I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, in the words of Rooney McNugget, he was like, "Hey guys, I guess that's it. Right, this is it."
Right.
And he's right on that. Right, he's
Yeah.
definitely right.
They're literally telling us in the mainstream news is that they're labeling this thing what's called an endemic, and that's a real medical term where it does not end. So, I mean, they're literally in their terminology saying that we're in the end. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. And then literally on I don't know if it was Fox News, but a mainstream news channel was saying, guys, guess what? These UFOs that we don't know what, and notice how there's 144 sightings. Really, they're like we don't even know what these are, but they're in the Bible. They're freaking telling us this on mainstream news, man. Like, come on, man. Oh
And,
man.
and,
And
the,
then
and these cats still can't get what's going on, man. Man, it just shows you. But it tells you in the scriptures, that if the blind lead the blind, they shall all fall into a ditch. Right. So those guys are just a congregation of the dead that
yes.
tried, died, and laid to the side. I'll
Yeah.
throw back to William. We got him here.
Yeah, there's like, I mean, I like whoever did this quote, this isn't even from the scriptures, but I can relate it to it. I think it's like, I think it's been attributed to Mark Twain, but that might be like a false attribute. But it's like it's easier to continue to fool people than to convince them that they've been fooled.
100%.
And I'd say that goes into the whole. Let me just pull up the verse. The like I think this, whether or not this is in here, I can look for it, but it's like the James 4:6, and I think that's somewhere in the Old Testament too, because it's quoting the scripture, and it's but he gives us more grace. That is why scripture says God opposes the proud but shows favor to the humble. So like yeah, and here's one that's really nice. I
Hmm.
think this might be Paul the apostle. um
Gonna make Samuel Owen mad by quoting Paul, but go ahead. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, here it is. It's First Corinthians 8:2. And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing yet as he ought to know. So sort of like if you think you got it like all figured out or something, like
Mhm.
guess again. Because I mean, think about it like um, just in that sort of thing. And that's sort of what I relate to a lot of things. Like a lot of people have maybe like I don't know. It's sort of like that. It's just like especially with what's happening in current events lately. Um, like they might have devoted too much to it. They might have like to turn back now. Like their career, their like pride couldn't handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, money's a big thing, because let's be honest, like us talking about this, we have to kind of do it basically with no one else around to some extent because first of all, no one else cares, but then yeah, it's not good for your money situation, that's for sure.
Hey, real
So,
quick, Monica, go ahead and get the book of Mark, chapter 12, start at verse 41 and read on down. This is a good one right here. I like this one.
Mark 12, what verse? Sorry, start from where?
Start at verse 41 and read on down to the
Yeah.
last verse.
Mark 12:41, and Jesus sat over against the treasury and beheld how the people cast money into the treasury, and many that were rich cast in much. Verse 42, and there came a certain poor widow, and she threw in 2 mites, which make a farthing. Verse 43, and he called unto his disciples and saith unto them, verily I say unto you that this poor widow hath cast more in than all they which had cast into the treasury. Verse 44, for all they did cast in of their abundance, but she out of her want did cast in all she had, even all her living.
Right, right. So the summary of that is, those rich men cast in a lot. That's true. But the poor woman, right, she didn't have much money, but she cast in, all that she was able. So the Lord looked upon her, in her giving more than all the rest. Right. So even with this thing that we're doing right now, this is really us spending our money because we could be out. I could be running my own business instead of, doing this on YouTube because this takes time, right? It takes time to, come on these platforms, to make videos and teach. We could be doing anything else. I mean, hell, my God could be out golfing, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, yeah. So we're dedicating, part of our lives, to this. You know
Here's
what I'm
another
saying?
thing. We could be a sellout, take the yab, and go chase these women around who are a bunch of demons. And let's
Well,
be
that's
honest,
true.
that's a reason why a lot of these men are taking it. You simps out there. Okay. So yeah, that's what the women are a big part of the success of this evil. I'll pass it back to you. But yeah, that's crazy,
Right.
man.
It says in the Apocrypha that many men have ran out of their way for a woman, right? Many men have been taken completely out of their way,
Yeah.
to follow after a woman, right? So that's why Paul spoke about that. If it's good, for a man to withstand himself, from a woman, right? So
Mhm.
especially in the times we're in right now, it's more beneficial, if you're single rather than being married, which is nothing wrong with being married. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the time that we're in, it's gonna be, you're gonna be better off if you're a single person.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Just a cool thing with the women thing, and I might want to like check the surrounding verses, but I've seen this quoted by somebody, and it's Ecclesiastes 7:28, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found.
Right.
And I'd probably want to. That's a little. I don't necessarily want to cherry pick that much, and let me just look at
No,
the
that's
surrounding.
correct. There's
Yeah.
few righteous men and there's even fewer righteous women, and that's just don't blame me. Okay, I didn't make this setup, but look at what's going on. All these damn nurses on TikTok acting like damn idiots, all that kind of stuff. Are you kidding me? So where are all where are all the females talking about the truth, saying America's Mystery Babylon and all this kind of where are they? So one woman came by my channel. She said, "Oh, you're so full of pride. You think you're of the elect and all that." I'm like, "Okay, if you want to be of the elect, no worries. Prophesy then. Say something. Declare what the evil is in the world, or where is your testimony, or whatever. You say that, then they go away. So that's just the way the world is. There are definitely righteous women on this earth, though, no doubt.
Here, let me just
Right, right.
turn down my
Go
TV.
ahead.
Sorry, y'all.
Okay. Yeah,
William's
but
pulling out
it's
some tough precepts here, man. That's a good one.
yeah, yeah, man. Going back to what I was saying a few days ago, man, about, in this society, the way that we're set up is to have multiple women, right? But in this society, it'll make you look like you're a bad, guy for doing that. Like I was watching this one video was like a TikTok video where what happened was this man was his wife was in the military, so they rolled her back to surprise him. Right, so that she jumped in the back of the trunk when he was at the store or something, and he didn't know he was there. He pulled into the house, and his girl that he's with now came out and tried to help take the stuff out. Right, so the woman came out of the car and confronted him. Right. So so it shows you, man, that if you're a man in this society, if you want to deal with another woman, you got to hide that behind your wife's back. And that shows how backwards the society is, right? That, it's matter of fact, in many places over here, it's, so-called illegal to engage in polygamy, which is the act of, multiple wives. I'll
Yeah.
throw back to you.
Yeah, which also proves that the earth is antichrist because there was a transition where, Paul was talking about one man, one woman and all that, but that doesn't mean that it's unlawful, to have many women.
If
Obviously
you
not
go,
women who are
if
dealing
you
with
go to, go ahead.
well, yeah, you just can't be with another woman who's already taken, but yeah, there's
Right,
nothing
right.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, if you go to, if you pull up, what is it, Exodus, the 21st chapter, it mentions if a man has two wives, it just says that he's not supposed to put the second-born son above his firstborn son. But the point is, the Lord doesn't call him out and say, well, it's a sin to have two wives. No, there's nothing wrong with a man having more than one wife according to the scriptures.
Right.
Right. So it just shows you. So it's like, well, wait a second. Why didn't God call out a man for having two wives? Because if you read the verse I quoted, if anyone can pull it up, it's Exodus 21st chapter. It says if a man has two wives, he's just not supposed to put the second born son above his firstborn son. Right. But it doesn't mention in any type of negative manner about him
Right, right.
having two wives. Go ahead.
Yeah, Exodus 21:10, and if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. So he's basically like, do that, just you have to take on the responsibility. That's what it's saying. It's like you can't just have 100 wives and not take care of any of them. That's the whole point. So yeah, if you can handle it, then do it. And these kings in the past, they could handle it because they were rich. So go for it. The only
Great
issue
thing to say.
ultimately that God has with that is that, first of all, if it's ever a distraction and then it distracts you from ministry, or if you get involved with these women of other nations who have other gods, that's the worst situation.
Okay,
So that's what can
go
happen.
down to verse. Are you still in that chapter? Go down to verse 15. Because it makes
Yeah.
another reference to it.
Yeah, Exodus 21:15, and he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death.
Oh, hold on a second. Oh, excuse me. It's Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 15. Excuse me.
Okay.
This is a good one.
Deuteronomy 21:15. If a man have two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers, that was hated.
Right. And if you read it, it's talking about, as I said earlier, about if a man has two wives, he's just not supposed to put his second-born son above his firstborn son. But it
Right.
doesn't mention in a negative manner about him having two wives, but it shows that according to the scriptures, a man can have two wives, as it says right here.
Yeah.
So I wonder what Tried and Refine's, take on that is.
Oh, they're too busy making their double CD. It's gonna come out, in 2023. They're too busy making a bunch of damn rap songs. Really? You kidding me, man? This is nonsense. The thing is, I have no issues if people want to do that rap music and do that spiritual stuff. Just don't come here and lecture us. Because we come on these hangouts and what do? We read from the Bible. So that's my real issue. And if you do want to come here and laugh at us, you better have a testimony. Notice we asked him a testimony, and he's silence. We're in the new covenant.
I have one interesting thing about because like that's definitely a big thing, like the relationship between men and women and like and that sort of thing. But here's 1 John 2:15-17. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. but he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. So like it's definitely, especially what with our culture nowadays, it's definitely more of a glorification of like promiscuity and lasciviousness and like
Yep.
fornication, when like, and they're really don't really seem to be glorifying like marriage and like one, or just marriage, and like the nuclear family seems to have sort of gone out the window. It's like how many people can I have sex with as fast as I can
Right.
nowadays.
Let me read the next verse, dude. This is a good one. Verse 18. We quote this a lot. Little children, it is the last time. Wait a minute. This is in First John. It is the last time. And as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now there are many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time.
Get verse
So
22.
yeah, it's like we know we're in the end times because everybody basically hates the Bible. Verse 22, who is a liar but he that denieth that Jesus is the Christ? He is Antichrist, that denieth the Father and the Son. So if you think Jesus is white, you're denying the Christ, because that's not the way Jesus looks. And then you deny the Father. And so that's a tough pill for certain people to swallow, but Jesus Christ was not white. He was not Chinese. He was not from Singapore. None of that. So
Here's a
Right,
cool
right.
thing about sorry,
Go ahead.
please. Oh yeah, here's a cool thing about like having the son means having the father and that sort of thing. And it's John 14 7 through 10. And this is sort of repeated in John 15. And it's if you had known me, you should have known my father also. And from henceforth ye know him and have seen him. Philip saith unto him, Lord, show us the Father, and it sufficeth us. Jesus saith unto him, have I been so long time with you, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how sayest thou then, show us the Father? So it seems like he's essentially saying, looking at the Son was looking at the Father.
yeah, and that also tells you that there it matters. Obviously seeing what he does is important, but that representation of God, you know, was that he was a dark-skinned man. That's very, very important. And we got
Right,
Troy
right.
Dustin in the chat saying Jesus was not black. Okay, well then all I gotta say to you is good luck, man. So if you're waiting for
Hey,
white
look.
Jesus to come back, then you're gonna be waiting a long time, my friend.
Right, right. White Jeebus inside joke. But hey, look. Troy, man. Hey, look. Click that link, right? If you want to sit there and make some bold statements, brother, well, click that link and let's test it up against the scriptures. All right, let's put up what you're saying against the scriptures and let's see what comes out on top, man. So click
Let's
that link.
ETT, you'll like this line of the discussion. If Jesus is white, he's in Europe and all what sometimes Sacramento says. Where are the quote unquote white people prophesying in Europe then? Where are they? Where are those people breaking down Revelation? I see a group in America doing that. Okay. You don't have to agree with them, but I see that happening. So where are these other people? If Jesus is Indian, then where are the Indian people prophesying? We don't see that. So the only people that are making an effort at least are here in America. So
Right, right.
that's proof, because you have to understand Revelation to be an Israelite fundamentally.
Hey,
You
I'll
have
I'll
to.
say this. I'll say this. I'll give Troy this though. At least Troy believes in the New Testament, unlike some individuals. I'll give him that.
Yeah. You know him?
I see. So a cool thing about like, like who are the true Jews and like Israelites and that sort of thing, because I've heard y'all talking about the covenant and like versus the new covenant and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's just because I think there's a verse in there that let me see. I think it's he came to his own. This is John like 1:11. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them
Well,
that
let me.
believe on his name.
Okay, cool. Let me chime in on that. There were some Jewish people that did not accept the Messiah. That's true, but there certainly were many people who did believe that Christ was the Messiah, right? Because you got guys going around talking about that all of the Jews did not accept Christ. That's not true.
Right.
Right? We nobody can show that in the scriptures. There certainly was some that did not accept him. That's true. But there was most certainly many people. If you go to, oh, what is that? I believe it's John the 12th chapter. When Christ was coming into the temple, there was so many people there that were cheering for him, and relaying, making a way for him to come into the temple. Right. So certainly he had a following there. I'll throw back to Monica.
Yeah, and I mean, there's verses that we can pull that there were multitudes following, and yes, did they peel off? Maybe some came for the food, no doubt, of course, but there's
Right.
no way that they all were like, yeah, whatever. No, like, of course, man, like he was healing people. You think those people that were healed would not? They were like blind, being able to see. Of course, their family's gonna know. That's their testimony. Okay.
Well, I think in a lot of things, there's definitely more like what you were talking about, mind of God, with the like the trees will be so few that the children can count them, in that they're like it's a really narrow way, like
100%.
it's a really narrow road, and that's sort of like because especially the Apostle Paul seems to sort of like go at them pretty hard in First Thessalonians 2:14-16. He says, or he's written, "For ye, brethren, became followers of the churches of God which in Judea are in Christ Jesus. For ye also have suffered like things of your own countrymen, even as they have of the Jews, who both killed the Lord Jesus and their own prophets, and have persecuted us. And they please not God, and are contrary to all men, forbidding us to speak to the Gentiles, that they might be saved, to fill up their sins alway, for the wrath is come upon them to the uttermost." So I
Right.
mean, especially stuff in there about like God prophesying, almost like, or telling his prophets to prophesy against Israel, and like obviously not the man Israel himself, but maybe his descendants and that stuff. Like it's definitely not. I don't necessarily agree that it's just like an open pass and that sort of
I'll
thing.
prove that to you. Israel, we know, is potentially at least hundreds of millions of people on earth at this point. Romans 11:7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So these are amongst the elite Israelites. So what about all the other nations? So even amongst Israel, there's a select group. So yeah, and just this, our live stream proves that there's 4 people watching. One of them believes Jesus is white or not black. So there's 3 people. So, and then the Bible's coming true right before our eyes.
Hey,
So
real quick,
this proves it.
real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, Monica, go ahead and get Jeremiah chapter 31, start at verse 35 on down. This is a good one.
Jeremiah 31, 35.
Verse 35 on down.
Yeah. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light. Wow, so this also proves that they're 2 separate lights. That's a good one. Which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. And those ordinance depart from before
Wrong.
me. Sorry, if
You're
those
wrong.
ordinance. What's that? What's up, man?
Hey kids, how you both doing?
What's up, LOP? Verse 36. If those ordinances depart from me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from becoming a nation before me forever. Verse 37. Thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. Verse 38. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the city shall be built to the Lord from the tower of Hananeel unto the gate of the corner. And the measuring line shall yet go forth against it upon the hill Gareb, and shall compass about to goeth. Verse 40. And the whole valley of the dead bodies and of the ashes. This is a good one. This is where the term
No. This
comes
guy
from.
XXX. Check out the chat, guys. This guy is going off. He's
Wait, let
saying
me read verse 40, and then I'll pass it. And the whole valley of the dead bodies and of the ashes and all the fields of the brook of Kidron unto the
racist.
corner of the horse gate towards the east shall be holy unto the Lord. It shall not be plucked up nor thrown down any more forever. And the whole valley of the dead bodies.
Right. But it says what? That if Israel was to ever be forgotten, and I'm merely paraphrasing it, it said that the sun and the moon were not forever there, that Israel would also be forgotten. But we know that the ordinances of the sky are still there. So therefore, the Lord never turned away from the Israelites.
Okay, but can I say something? This guy is
Yes.
going off on the chat. He's saying black
What do you
people
say?
are the chosen, God's chosen people. There is nowhere in the Bible, by the way. And so what's your point? Like, why?
Well, the black, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans are the
No,
children of Israel.
but he said only blacks, and you are. I mean, what?
Well,
Like
you
Latinos are
okay?
not
Hold
black,
on.
okay? And then
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. You have confusion to face Israelites that do look like the other nations. That's true in these times, but it is true that the Lord's chosen people, the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So he's
well,
correct
I
on that.
disagree with
He's
that, but
definitely
okay, okay.
okay. Well,
Let me
why do you disagree?
Well,
let's get
why
the
do I
verse.
disagree?
LOP, let's get the
Because they
verse
will be
before you do that.
from all nations, not
Yeah,
just from Mexico and USA.
let's get the verse before you do that. We went into this last time, but it's important to know this. First of all, Deuteronomy 28:68. LOP, do you accept that that's Bible prophecy in America, or
Um,
people brought here on slave ships are Israelites, or no?
well, can you read it?
Yeah, Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto you, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Well, it says sold into the Egypt, and then
Egypt's America, and we can show you.
Egypt is what? No, no, no. Back then in
My God, go
Deuteronomy,
ahead
it
and
was
go.
certainly not America. What are you talking about?
No,
Which
listen,
which
listen to
My
the
which
God,
verse
language.
was this? I just want to
Listen to
see
the
because
language.
I have a Jewish study Bible. I just want to see what this is. You said Exodus or Deuteronomy 20 or where
Deuteronomy
was?
28:68.
Okay, let me go grab that. I just want to see because they have like notes. I want to see what like it might have been done by like people who by Jews and stuff like that. I'll be right back.
Right, but we're gonna show you the precept. We're gonna show the precept real quick. All you got to do is go to Revelation chapter 11 and verse 8, and it refers to America, right, Babylon, as Egypt. My
Right.
God, pull it up for LOP.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's for the modern time, not like Deuteronomy was written in like long.
No,
Okay.
LOP. We'll explain that. We'll explain that. That's a fair point. But we'll explain the Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy
Okay.
28:68. It's not the only place where the Jews are. This is the point where you have to at least consider this. Revelation 11:8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So hold that for a second. This is also the verse that ETT does not deny as well. Deuteronomy 28:64. This is a few verses above. This has to be in the last days. It's prophetic. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. Let me read that again. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth to the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So there's at least two groups of Israelites here. The ones
So
that are scattered among all people, and then another group that went into slavery and on slave ships. Do you accept that?
okay, but you do realize that not only blacks were sold to slavery, right?
By slave ships,
Yeah.
though.
Well,
We know
yeah,
that other.
but
Well,
like you said,
LOP,
in all
wait a
nations,
second.
are blacks enslaved in all nations or what?
No. The unique part about Deuteronomy 28:68 is what ETT is getting at. It's in a place called Egypt in America. It's by ships, and that's the place of going to be of salvation. It says, and no man shall buy you. So only the redemption is spiritual. So that has to be in the last days. So yes, have other people been enslaved? Yes, have other people been enslaved by ships? But have they been enslaved into a place called Egypt in the last days?
Okay,
That's
I mean,
unique.
I see the connection, mine of God, and that's a fair point. But I'm just saying that the verse shall be scattered on all nations, so it doesn't just mean Mexicans and blacks. You
Yeah,
agree?
It's
I don't think
saying that.
ETT teaches that.
No,
Well, wait a second.
well, he
It's
does. So
hold on a second. Hold on a second. If the verse is saying that the Israelites would be scattered among all the nations. So I don't know what you're getting at there. It simply means that the Israelites were scattered among all the nations in the world today, right? That the Israelites, if you do the history on it, and
yeah,
this goes into the Gentiles,
but
the
like okay,
go
but
ahead.
your people, because you are Mexican, so your people came from Spain. So like by your definition, you are an Edomite. Because
I
Spanish,
don't,
no, no,
I
no, yeah,
wouldn't.
because Spanish people, you think all white people are Edomites, so your ancestor came from
Uh,
Spain, bro.
hold
So
on a second, brother. You're not gonna say that. Sit there and say that because I never said that. I never said that all white people are Edomites. So you
I
just
know. Okay, I'm just messing with you
okay,
because
okay,
that's what Jay
okay.
says.
So wait a
Yeah.
second. Wait a second. So if you're
Yeah.
in the middle of a serious conversation, why would you make a false statement, brother? What sense would that make?
No, because no, because because you keep saying you agreed with this guy when he says like, only the blacks are the God's chosen people, which is not true. Okay,
He
like
said
God
to
is not a
correct you.
respecter of persons, number
Hold
one,
on a
and
second,
then
brother. Hold on a second. You're not gonna misrepresent what the brother said. I'm gonna read his comment. He said the real Hebrew Israelites are the African Americans, right?
but
And
then
he
he
was
said
asking us that
also,
question.
the blacks are God's real chosen people.
Yeah, but
Like,
that doesn't mean that the others may not be. That's not an
Hey,
exclusive claim, right?
hey, man of God, go ahead
well,
and get
in a way, it is
the book of.
exclusive, but
No, no,
okay.
no. It's like
Okay, hold on.
if go ahead, ETT.
Hold on a
Sorry.
second.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Man of God, go ahead and get the book of Second Ezra's chapter 6 and verse 56. Let's read that real quick.
Second Ezra 6:56. As for the other people, which also come out of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Here's another good one. LOP, by the way, you said God does not respect people. He does. Exodus 2:25. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. Let me read that again. Exodus 2:25. And God looked upon the children of Israel.
Yeah, but I mean
Yeah,
the
I think.
verse,
Sorry.
God
Yeah.
does not look on the outward appearance, but he looks upon the heart. So
Right.
it doesn't
Right.
matter if you're black, white, Chinese, American, Asian, whatever.
Yeah.
We're not. It's not a racial claim that we're making. We're talking about a group of Israelites. We're focusing the Bible being written by, and documenting the movement of the Israelites.
But well, I can get behind that. I'm just, why do you keep bringing up the Jesus was black and then?
Because he's a Jew, and the Jews have to be in a place called Egypt in America. And so wherever the Jews are, that's where salvation is going to be. So if the salvation was going to be in Israel, then yeah, it would be likely that Jesus was quote unquote white or Ashkenazi or
I'm not
European.
saying white, but I'm not saying like black either. Like there's
No, but
no verse that there's only one verse in the Revelation. That's the one that you
where
are.
are the Jews? You have to think about this yourself, because
Well,
if you
you are
don't
right.
know that,
In most of them are in
right? And so Christ was
eh,
a Jew,
in the USA. So,
right?
but
So Christ would look like a so-called Negro.
well, that you cannot prove that.
Well, no, if he's a Jew, what do you think they morphed over the years? Like they look different?
Yes.
Like okay, to what?
Wait a
Well, I
second.
mean,
Wait a
no,
second.
like,
How can I?
like,
Whoa, whoa,
how
whoa,
can you
whoa.
prove? You cannot
Hold
prove
on.
that.
LOP, hold on a second. The scriptures say that Christ was from the tribe of Judah. The Judah, which is the head tribe, are so-called Negroes, right? So from that shows that Christ was a Negro because he was from the tribe of Judah.
What? That doesn't prove. How can you know the tribe of Judah were like the so-called Negroes?
We just read it in Deuteronomy 28:68, man.
Wait, 28:68.
What?
Let me look at that.
We
Okay.
just read it, like,
Just
and
'cause this is interesting. I haven't heard.
also
I
listen to
haven't
this.
necessarily.
Also listen to this. Do it by reverse. Just think about this logically. If America's Mystery Babylon, which it's clear you maybe don't accept that yet or whatever, but if America's Mystery Babylon, then that's the place of salvation. Okay, that's modern day Egypt. And so the Jews have to be here. The Israelites, some concentration of them have to be here. Who would they be then?
No, but I'm not saying about the Israelites. I'm saying about Jesus when that description of Jesus being black is nowhere to be found.
No,
Only
no,
in
but
Revelation
I'm
when
telling you.
is his glorified form, and then it's
No,
just
I'm telling
says
you.
his feet were as burned brass, and that doesn't prove how he looked when he walked the earth. Do you agree?
No, it definitely
Well,
does.
wait a
I'm proving
second.
it to
Wait
you.
a second. Hold on a second. The way that we would prove what Christ looked like is by if we know what the Israelites look like. Because as I brought up earlier, it says in the scriptures that Christ is from the tribe of Judah, which is what the head tribe of Israel, right? So with that being said, as we're saying that the Jews are so-called blacks, we understand then that Christ would be black because it says he's from that particular tribe.
Yeah, but you said that. I mean, he was from the Most High, and then what I'm trying to get at is you're teaching, like, okay, so Mary or
Yeah,
I don't
all of them were
understand
dark
this.
skin. Yes, all of them.
All
Mary,
of them?
Joseph, Paul, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John,
I mean,
everybody, man. What
What
do
if
you
they
mean?
were?
What do you think they look like? You think they look like Joel Osteen? Are you
No, but
kidding
I'm
me?
just saying, not like okay. So you
What
also
do you think
don't
he
know
looked
that
like?
for
What
sure.
person do you think he looked like? Oh, that's on Earth. What
Go
I
ahead
have
and
country?
no
get
idea,
Hebrews.
man. It was
Wait a
2000
second.
years ago. I
Wait
don't
for
know.
wait. Wait for the context of the discussion. Mind God, pull up Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 14, just to back up what I said earlier, so he understands.
For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood.
What about
Right.
okay?
So
So
there.
here's just like a real world. I don't want to interrupt or anything.
Yep.
Here's just like a real like sort of like a real world like question. Because there I feel like just in Israel right now there are like Jews, you know, like people who like call themselves Jews who like Jews, you know, like, and I'm not trying to, because like obviously like it's one of those things, people have different beliefs and stuff, but like do you not think because that there are people living today who can like trace back their lineage to like Judah and that sort of thing? Like what about the Jewish people in Israel today?
Yeah, that's something that we're waiting for Flat Earth Boxer and ETT to have a debate on haplotypes, but you know, we may have to wait for that. But you can actually do a study on that, yes, for sure, and get an understanding. You can't necessarily prove that they're Israelites because you need a sample of one, like some person who's an actual
Let
Israelite.
me say this. I wouldn't agree with all that DNA stuff. I'll give an example. I don't believe you could go back that far, because how would you know if you needed a sample to go off with to begin with? I'll give
Right.
another example.
Yeah.
Just like with this false science, you give someone a rock and ask, well, how old is this rock? To tell you, oh, well, the rock's like 2.8 billion years. How the hell do you know that? Right? So the same thing with this. It's just, I'd say it's false science. I won't go by that. And I'd say
Well,
that there's certainly, real quick, I'd say there certainly are, real Jews in Israel. I'm not denying that. But the Lord's chosen people are not back in the land today. There might be a
right.
handful of people who are real Jews over there. That could certainly be true.
Well,
But
I just I yeah.
we know by prophecy that the Jews are scattered abroad, primarily in Babylon the Great, but of course you have them all over the world. I'll throw back to Willie.
Right. So I just have like I think I was I might have pulled this up on my phone. I've got like a few. I think this is uh so here's this is more in like I think you said something about somebody not somebody not agreeing with the apostle Paul, which I get. I definitely have seen people who disagree with Paul's stuff or Paul's epistles, but let me see. Yeah. So this is let me. I think this might be the. So have you heard about like a spiritual Jew? And then this is Galatians 3:29, and it is, and if ye be Christ, then are ye Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. So he's essentially saying like, if you belong to Christ, then you're like Abraham's seed.
Right, but here's the thing with that though, as they're talking to the audience of the Jews. I'll give an example. If you go to Ephesians, the second chapter, when it talks about the what's the word I'm looking for? Gentiles, it speaks about how they were once under the law. Now we know that the Lord only gave the law to the Jews. So as far as the people who they're talking to, these are Israelites, right? So these Gentiles are Israelite foreigners who don't know it, they're Israel because they were brought up in these other lands. That would be my understanding of this. I'll give another example. There's a scripture that says that we're all one in Christ. There is neither Greek nor Jew, there is neither male nor female, for we are all one in Christ. Right. So the way you understand that is the scripture is not literal. And how can you say that? Because it says there's neither male nor female. Right. So we understand that the scriptures are not always literal when it says certain things. So we had to go by the context of
Right.
the
Yeah.
Well,
people
Right.
who they
William,
are
what's your
administering.
point? We were getting into almost a geographical, historical argument, and then you brought that verse up. What does that have to do with? Do you accept that the narrative that brought the so-called Negroes to America was under the watchful eye of the God of the Bible? Do you accept that? Yes or no? It's a simple question.
I'm definitely not denying that like everything like or in that sort of thing, or even that God like that God was above it and that sort of thing, that that like it was under his watchful eye. I'm not necessarily denying that, because you know he looks at what he wants to look at. He hears whatever he wants to hear and that sort of thing. But just if you're talking about the Deuteronomy 28, 60 something in the 60s, that seems to be from Deuteronomy 28:58, which is, if you fail to observe faithfully all the terms of this teaching that are written in this book, to reverence, honored and like my honored and awesome name, the Lord your God, the Lord will inflict extraordinary plagues upon you and your offspring, strange and lasting plagues, malignant and chronic diseases. And that's a different translation that's not from a different website, but so I think that's saying like if
the earth is
that would
proof.
happen.
The earth is proof
Right.
that that's happened because
Let
there's
me
no
respond.
concentration of Israelites.
Let me respond to this real quick, because if you read Deuteronomy 28, right, it goes over a list of blessings that Israel will get if they hearken unto the voice of the Lord and keep it. But then it also goes into a list of curses the Lord will put upon Israel if they do not keep his commandments. Right. So what happened was they did not follow the Lord's commandments. So therefore the curses fell upon them. Just like
And
I'll give an example. If you go to, I believe it's Genesis, the 15th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, might be the 13th chapter, where the Lord told Abraham that, hey, look, those that the nations that bless Israel, the Lord will bless them. But if they curse Israel, then the Lord will curse them. Right. So if the nations blessed Israel, then they would have been blessed. But the nations destroyed Israel and came against her. Right. So they're not going to be blessed. It's given two circumstances, and the outcome depends on what ends up happening.
Right. So here's just what I would talk about, because y'all have been seeming to be talking about like Israel and like the nation Israel and the Israelites, like the people of the nation Israel. So I would just want to know like everyone's opinion on this verse. I think it's Matthew 21. So it's Matthew 21 verse Matthew 21 verse 43. I'll start at 42. Jesus saith unto them, Did ye never read in the scriptures, the stone which the builders rejected, the same is become the head of the corner? This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore say I unto you, the kingdom of God shall be taken from you and given to a nation bringing forth the fruits thereof. So what is the nation that Christ is prophesizing that he's going to take the kingdom from? And who is the nation that he's prophesying that he's going to give it to? Just in your opinion.
Let's read the context. Let's read the context of it so we understand. What verse was that?
Matthew, I'll start at 40. Yeah. We can even start a little bit up, but we'll go to Matthew 20, Matthew 21, starting at, let's see. I'll start at 33. Here another parable, there was a certain householder which planted a vineyard and hedged it round about and digged a winepress in it and built a tower and let it out of husbandmen and went into a far country. Verse 34, and when the time of the fruit drew near, he sent his servants to the husbandmen, and they that might receive the fruits of it. And the husbandman took his servants and beat one and killed another and stoned another. Again, he sent other servants more than the first, and they did unto them likewise. But last of all, he sent his own son, saying, They will have reverence for my son. Verse 38. But when the husbandmen saw the son, they said amongst themselves, This is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and let us seize on his inheritance. Verse 39. And they caught him and cast him out of the vineyard and slew him. When the Lord, therefore, of the vineyard cometh, what will he do unto those husbandmen? Verse 41. They say unto him, He will miserably destroy those wicked men, and will let out his vineyard unto the husbandmen, which shall render him the fruits in their season. Verse 42, Jesus saith unto them, Did ye never read in the scriptures, the stone which the builders rejected, the same is become the head of the corner? This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Verse 43, Therefore I say unto you, the kingdom of God shall be taken from you and given to a nation, bringing forth the fruits thereof. Verse 44, And whosoever shall fall on this stone shall be broken, but on whomsoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder. That's in verse 44. Christ returning with his elect. Verse 45, and when the chief priests and Pharisees had heard this parable, they perceived that he spake of them. Verse 46, but when they sought to lay hands on him, they feared the multitude, because they took him for a prophet. There's some coded language there, William. We're going to get deep, man. ETT, you want to take that?
I wouldn't say that's literal because Christ is speaking to the unbelieving Pharisees there. So I wouldn't say that's exactly what it seems like there. I would say because when you deal with the scriptures, there's definitely some parables here, right? There's definitely some scriptures that don't mean what they appear like they mean. I'll give a great example of that. Dealing with scriptures speak about in Daniel that there's a lion who has eagle's wings. We know that that's not a griffin, right? We know that that's not literal, even though the text literally says there was a lion who has eagle wings. I agree the text says that, but we know that that's not literal. It doesn't mean what the text says, right? So I would understand this to be that Christ is speaking to the Pharisees here. I wouldn't say this means that the kingdom is going to be taken away from the Israelites and given to someone else, because we know, according to what is that, Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. It says that Christ only came to bring salvation unto the Israelites. Might have got pull it up for the brothers. Oh, also, and while you're doing that, get the book of Matthew chapter 10 and start at verse 5 on that. That's a good one as well.
But William, I guess just so you understand, okay, me and ETT disagree on what's going to happen in the kingdom to some extent, but we agree in the structure is that the elect, 144,000 are all Israelites, and then the multitude or the heathen nations are going to serve them. So there is a bit of coded language here in verse 46, but when they sought to lay hands on him, they feared the multitude because they took him for a prophet. So I agree with what ETT said in the sense that these verses are talking about those people that literally rejected him, the Pharisees, because it literally says, and when the chief priests and Pharisees heard this, they perceived that he spake of them. So they're all rejected. Okay. They're obviously not the 144,000. Okay.
I mean,
So
that's
that other
perfect. Yeah.
that other
Sorry.
group that are outside of that 144,000 are going to be, like it says here, will be grind him to powder. They're going to be destroyed in the last days. Okay. Remember what Revelation 1:7 says, all eyes will see him, even those who pierced him. Everybody that was involved in his crucifixion are back here on this earth right now, and they're going to receive that judgment in verse 44.
Yeah, let him respond real quick.
Right. Yeah. I think that's like perfectly well and good. Like in like I'm just trying to like, because there's a few like thoughts that come into my mind about that, or that I hear and stuff like that. So first of all, there's the whole Gog and Magog, which is an Ezekiel 38 thing where they go up to I think it's Ezekiel 38. It could be 32. I'm pretty sure it's 38. And then even after the millennial reign, like Satan is loose from his like from being under a rock or something like that and shut up, and he goeth forth to deceive the nations again.
You don't understand those verses.
Okay.
We can get into that, but no, that's
Okay.
not. There's no Satan being released after 1,000 years of Christ reigning on earth. That's absolute nonsense.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what he's referring to.
Yeah.
He's referring to
The
Revelation,
Revelation.
the 20th.
Yeah.
Our stance on that is part of that's happening in the past, and part of that is talking about the future. That would be our understanding on
Exactly.
that. So
They're two different
we
thousand
would
years.
disagree on that.
Yeah, I'd agree
And as I
with that.
said, brother, real quick, as I said, brother, we're just having a friendly discussion with you. I definitely know we're all going to disagree on some stuff, and that's cool, but we're all sharpening each other's sword here by having a discussion. Real quick, I want to say shalom to Luke. What's going on, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Luke, what's up? Are you there, man?
You might be muted.
He's down under, so it takes a bit of time for the sound to get here on the bottom of the ball.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
we can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you, man.
Yeah,
What's going on?
shalom, everybody. Shalom. This
Shalom,
is,
shalom.
so how's everyone going?
We're doing all right.
Just surviving, man. Yeah, I slept only 5 hours, but I wanted to wake up for ETT stream, but I didn't set alarm, so I just woke up because I telepathically knew that ETT will go live later than he stated.
Hey, real quick,
Yeah,
we got a little surprise. Real quick, let me do this real quickly. Bear with me a second. All right,
Okay.
hey, look, now my avatar is Betty Rips.
Can you pull it up full screen, bro, please?
Yep. Bear with me a second.
That's from the It movie?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
like a TV show as well, right, ET?
No, just a movie, man.
No,
And
but
a
it was
book.
also a TV show. Am I wrong?
But dude, you know
I
what you
don't-
got to
I'm not
do,
sure
dude?
on
Take the ETT and Betty and make it a different letter so your initials are on there. That'd be slick. You know what I mean? Because you got the word in there
Betty
Oh, that's a good
Ripson.
point. That's a good
if
point.
you want to. You know what I mean?
But that clip you showed me, that was like a horror comedy from the the Betty Ripson scene. You know that what
Right.
you showed me? Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway,
Betty Ripson.
Luke, what's going on, man?
Me, nothing much really. Just, wow, I went to the river and it's flooding. There's going to be a flood soon. So we just came out of lockdown and now there's going to be a flood.
Hey,
well,
just
we're
interesting.
gonna be in lockdown soon with this Decepticon or whatever the name of this new stupid thing is.
We're just expecting first day of snow tomorrow, so that's gonna be lovely.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
While over here, the river's about to break, and also we got a lovely new variant of the sea.
we know what
Oh,
you're
I'm not
saying.
gonna.
Don't stop
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't say it. Yeah, don't say it.
No, I'm not going to say it. We've got a new variant. I don't know what name they called it.
Just call it O.
Yeah, we
Call
had
it
just
O.
addressed that, man.
Yeah, just call it O.
We know what it is.
Oh yeah, isn't that interesting? And yeah, GMS Australia went and reported on it.
Yeah.
We're just trying to keep this video up and not age restricted. So we're trying to keep it like PG today. You know,
Right. So anyway, LOP, going back to what we were talking about, man, because I was enjoying that discussion. But
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. What did you what did you disagree with about us saying that that Christ was black?
No, because I was talking with Jay actually after you ended the stream. I talked to Jay for about like 90 more minutes, and like we kind of talked about it, and he has brought up some things to my understanding that I already knew actually. But like anyway, it's just this is not an important thing though. Like whether
Well, if it's not important,
It's
why
very
is it not
important.
in? Why is it in the
Is it?
scriptures if it's not important?
Yeah, it's
No.
very
But
important.
about I mean,
I'll explain
he
why.
is-
Let me read it. Luke 9:26-27. For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he shall come in his own glory and his Father's and of his only angels. Verse 27. But I tell you of a truth, there's some standing here which shall not taste death till they see the kingdom of God. That's verse 27.
Oh, real quick,
okay,
go ahead
but-
and get Matthew. Real quick. Go ahead and get Matthew chapter 11, verse 6.
If he was white, we would teach that. Okay. If he was Chinese, I would
Right.
teach that. Matthew 11:6. And blessed is
I'm
he
saying it's.
whosoever shall not be offended in me.
I'm not offended in anything, but I'm just. He said the most important things are his words, not if he goes black or Chinese.
No, let me read
white.
that again. No. That's not what it said in Luke 9:26.
Well, but in other places it says that my words are the most important thing. Doesn't it say that?
But it says, whosoever shall be
we're
ashamed
not.
of me and of my words.
Yeah, we're not denying that the word of the Lord
Yeah,
is
he like
important,
his
but we're
character,
saying.
not
I
his
think
freaking skin color or whatever.
Go ahead.
I think what and I think his name or LLP. I mean, I didn't see his
LOP.
LLP. Okay.
His name is Joseph, if you want to call
Joseph.
him.
Okay. Yeah. I think what Joseph seems or like maybe getting at here is that although there may be things that are like crystal clear, like him being the Son of God, him being the Lord, him being crucified and that stuff, like him, like the color of his skin, other than like the color of his feet in Revelation, like may not have been explicitly like mentioned. So although it could be, like it may not be like as clear as day, you know.
Well, no, hold on. We're telling you from different angles. It's not simply just Christ was black. Okay, of course. Does the Bible say the earth is flat anywhere? It's hidden, so certain people don't know.
And here,
So,
let me add into what Man of God's saying, because here's the ultimate proof I'd give, because I've shown that was that Hebrews 7:14. It says that Christ is from the tribe of Judah, which is the head tribe of the Israelites. So if Christ is from that tribe, we know that he has to be of the color of the rest of the people of that tribe. But we know by just looking at the curses, we know that the people that fit those curses to a T are so-called Negroes.
Are you saying
Right, so, I mean,
so? Which are you saying the curses about like being brought back to Egypt in ships, right?
Well,
Yeah, yes.
well, all of
And
the
Egypt has to be
curses.
America. It cannot be Egypt. Correct.
Well, wait a sec. All of the curses in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, because it's not only that one, of course. So all of them there,
Right.
fit our people.
Check out this quote from Gamal Abdel Nasser. When he was asked about peace in the Middle East, the late president of Egypt, this is the actual Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser stated, "The Jews will never be able to live in peace because they left here black but came back white." Why would he say that?
What was that from? Was that a scripture or was
No,
it?
this is Gamal Abdel Nasser, the president of Egypt.
Okay.
Everybody in the world knows that the Jews are black. How come you guys don't know? That's what I'm wondering.
Wait, no, that's not true.
Everybody who
That's not true.
knows things about history, and let me
But
rephrase that,
there's
knows that the
some
Jews
people
black.
are okay. Some people are teaching the true Hebrews are the Europeans, and then of course, and then you have people that teach they were black, and then of course, both are wrong actually, and
So who is it?
No, they're not both wrong.
well, well, because like look, they will consider like if black people say that they can get away with it. But if white people say it's kind of
Where are
racist.
the white people in Israel, in Europe, prophesying? Where are they teaching about UFOs and reincarnation and Mystery Babylon? Where are those?
But I'm just saying, okay,
Yeah.
so white people are in America too. So like,
No, we don't
Well, just-
disagree that there could be Israelites, and there are Israelites in Europe, no doubt. Of course, there's
So-
And let
Israelites
me say
everywhere.
this. Let me add this in, because there are certain Israelites that are white, but the vast majority of them are so-called Black, Latino, Native American. But we understand that there are some people who have white skin who are Israelites. Those are called confusion of faith Israelites. So we're
One
not
who's not
denying that there's some people.
One who's
Go
not
ahead.
is that damn devil demon Russian vid's truth, because this guy's talking about these UFOs as being evil aliens. So I'm gonna throw Russian vids right now under the bus here on this channel. So he claims to be a quote unquote Russian. I'd call him a demon. So
Right.
that's just
But
what it is.
LOP, the point is that the vast majority of the Israelites are so-called black. But we understand, going by how throughout time Israelites slept with the other nations, so therefore the children come out looking like other nations, right? So they're still Israelites, but their skin color might look different. But the vast majority of Israel are so-called Black, Latino, Native American. I'll throw back to you.
I
again,
wouldn't even word it like
don't.
that. I would word it
I don't know.
differently. I would say any group that can be documented that came in mass on slave ships, however you word it. Okay, I'm not disagreeing that those groups did come here in that way, but that's the way I would word it because that's what Deuteronomy says. But yeah, definitely the so-called Negroes are the Jews, and so
And
that
real
alone
quick,
proves that America's Mystery Babylon. You
Right,
don't
so-
need any
so-
other.
I never disagreed
real
that Mr.
real quick,
Babylon
real quick.
is not
Right.
America,
But it's 1-to-1 though.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
LOP, hold on a second. Because as I said, that if you read all of the curses in Deuteronomy 28, all of those fit the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. And as I said, there are some white people that fit under those curses, but those people could be Israelites. But primarily, all those curses fit who we would call so-called black, Latino, Native American, out of every other,
and
group of
like
people.
I was gonna say earlier, but I didn't get the chance that the blessings and the cursings in Deuteronomy, like you have like probably like 10% of blessing and then 90% of the cursing. Like
Exactly.
God really goes hard
Which
on
do you
those
think was
disobedient.
about to happen? Which do you think he knew was about to happen? Clearly, he knew that this was going
Of
to
course,
happen.
yeah, because he knows anything from the
Exactly.
beginning. So
John
yeah,
But
you're right.
here's the problem.
John
Wait
4:22.
a
You
sec.
worship, you know not what. We know what we worship. Listen, is for salvation is of the Jews. So wherever the Jews are, that's where salvation is going to be headquartered in the last days. I'll pass it to DTT.
Real quick, because as I said, if you go back to Deuteronomy 28, it lists a percentage of blessings that if Israel hearkens to the word of the Lord and follows his commandments, that he will bless them with all the things that it mentions. But then under it goes into if Israel does not follow the Lord's commandments, that he will
Right.
set all these curses upon them. So the Israelites did not follow after the Lord's commandments. So therefore they're not under the blessings today, but rather the curses.
And
I'll throw back to you.
They were just
wait,
horrible.
but this is
the
important. 64
curses.
64 proves that we're going down, that we're also going down the unfaithful side, because it says, Lord shall scatter thee among all people. If that didn't happen and they went the blessing, they'd be in a concentration somewhere and we could go and visit them. Okay. They'd be prophesying, they'll be keeping the law. So that also proves that
Mm.
they went down the
Let me
I
unfit.
mean, here's
let-
here's like a cool thing just about like the whole like salvation is of the Jews verse, because like I think there is the like Yehoshua, which is like Jehoshua, and that's like the abbreviate, or that's like the long maybe original form with like that's from the same Joshua in the Old Testament, and but the form that's at least in like the a Hebrew New Testament translation I've seen does Yeshua, and people pronounce that a bunch of different ways. But Yeshua is actually like if you just add one letter, one like H onto the end of it, is the same word they use in the Bible for salvation. So in some way, like salvation is of the Jews, that may just like be Yeshua saying like he's Jewish in that thing.
Yeah, no, it's double meaning. That's sorry, that's my point. Yes, I don't disagree that Christ is going to be it says no man shall buy you when we read in Deuteronomy 28:68, right? That is the quote
Real-
man, Christ returning as God with power, but it's double
let me
meaning.
add something.
Double meaning. Go ahead.
Let me add something. LOP made a statement. I didn't get to hear exactly what he said because we were all talking. But LOP, did you just say something along the lines of those curses were historic? Are you trying to say that we're not under those today, that happened all in the past? Just I don't want to misrepresent what you said, brother.
Wait, no.
Because I thought I heard you
The
say those were
curses
historic. So,
are still in effect, I believe, because that look at the world and how.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I didn't disagree. I just
right.
before I was a bit
Okay.
confused with that. I wanted to get more understanding
Okay.
on the
Okay. Cool.
slave ships and stuff like that.
Well,
That's
okay.
what I
Cool.
asked basically. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's good. But now that you agree on that, how can you sit there and say that the blacks are not the Israelites if you agree those curses are still on the Israelites today?
Well, I as I said, I do agree that some of them are, but as you said, they are scattered throughout the all
There's
nations,
two
right?
groups of people in Deuteronomy
So
28. There's a group that are scattered, so they're going to be in less concentration. Then there's another group that are in mass concentration, according to 68. There wasn't
Right.
5 people that came across on that transatlantic slave
But
trade.
wait. Let
no,
me add
yeah,
something in real quick.
yeah.
So LOP, if you agree to that, then right, if you do agree that majority of the Jews are black, let me ask this then, because I read to you that Christ was from the tribe of Judah, which is a head tribe of Israel. So if you agree that they're black, well, wouldn't you agree that proves that Christ is black too?
I mean, I would definitely say he was from that region, so he couldn't have been white, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
he was
biology.
definitely dark skinned. Yeah, I mean, I do, of course, that's logical. So yeah, you've got the Catholic picture of Jesus. That's obviously just a
Right.
imagination of theirs.
Here's one thing too,
Right.
what William was saying about
Yep.
John 4:22, talking about the Jews. If you look up that word Jews in the blue letter, it's important actually just to understand this, that it's G2453. It literally says part of the nation of the Jews. So that's where they're
Right.
going
So
to be in concentration. Go
let
ahead.
me let me
Wait,
chime
Luke
in on
is
that.
showing
Here's a
something on the screen.
here's a question I would
Real quick.
have. Please, no, please go.
William, I'll let you ask your question in a
Absolutely,
second, brother.
absolutely.
I want to make a statement, but real quick before that, I see Luke has something he wants to say. So after William talks, I'll let Luke chime in too. But real quick, I just wanted to make a statement and say it's like, oh damn, now I got sidetracked. Now I don't. Oh yeah, I was talking about the Gentiles. From our understanding, and I don't want to put words in anyone else's mouth on here, but from my understanding, I should say, is that the Gentiles in the Bible, when we see the talking about the salvation for the Gentiles, that's talking about the Israelite foreigners who don't know it. They are Israelites. They've been Hellenized because they've been raised in these other nations, right? So the Gentiles that are receiving salvation are Israelite foreigners, right? Because according to my understanding, who the world calls Christ only came to bring salvation to the children of Israel. Just like I shown, if you go to Matthew chapter 10, start at verse 5 on down, Christ told the apostles, don't go the way of the Gentiles and the other nations, but rather go to the children of Israel. right? And then if you go to Matthew chapter 15, verse 24, Christ said, I have only came to save the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Anyway, I'll let William respond real quick and say what you want.
So yeah, I would just say, like, what what are we talking about in terms of? I mean, because like I've done like bits where like it talks, and I've heard y'all's opinions about like when it says, oh, here's David, like he was ruddy and like beautiful or handsome and stuff like that, and like fair countenance, and I have heard your opinions that that's not like talking about complexion or about like blushing or anything like that. But
It can't be
so
because
I'd
of what
say-
we just said. God's behind the deception. He
hold
needs
on.
to give some
Hold on real
verses.
quick.
right.
needs
So, I
to
mean,
give
just
some
yeah, just let
verses.
me just yeah, if you don't mind, just let me finish.
Go
So
on.
so that would
Yep.
be an interesting thing to see, because like dark skin and light skin, like we talk about like reincarnation and stuff like that. Because like I'm actually like 1% African from like doing a test and stuff. So like would that mean that
You're
I'm
not
Jewish?
1% African, dude. There is no such thing as a 1% African. What does that mean?
I think like I think it's someone like in the 17th or 16th like
But
century.
Africa's a place. Can you be 1% American? Can you be 1% Canadian? What does that
It's
mean?
West African. It's like in the 1700s or the 1600s, I had an ancestor or like a grandparent who was supposedly 100% Angolan or Congolese.
Okay, but what nation
You
is
look
that in the
white
Bible?
though.
I know I'm not denying it. It's like 0.5%. The rest is all like European and stuff.
No, I'm just kind of being
Hey,
trolling a little bit.
Are you?
Okay, I'm
I
just
was
saying
gonna
if we're talking
ask,
about
are
it's
you
like
have some Swedish in you? Because you look a bit Swedish. If
I suppose I supposedly do have some Scandinavian, not that much though,
But wait,
but,
first of all,
it's-
ETT,
yeah.
take that pin
This wasn't
comment
even
off.
this
dude.
wasn't
Don't
even the question.
put a
though,
new comment
necessarily,
up,
though.
dude. That's crazy. But okay, go ahead. Ask your question. Sorry, man. I
So
didn't want
like
to interrupt.
that would be interesting to see like because you I think you just said something like what nation is that, and like I thought we were talking about
Yeah,
what
here's the
people would
deal.
call
Here's the
black
deal.
people, right?
Let's go. Let's do this from the bottom up, so to speak. So,
Okay.
if you have an Israelite, right, which is a nation of people, okay.
Right.
If those Israelites have children, they're not like 50% Israelite because they have a child with a woman of another nation. They're still Israelites. Okay, that's the way it is. Okay, it's you don't lose your Israelite-ness. Oh, you know what? You went with like another nation, so you're 50% Israelite. No, so it's by the man. Okay.
So are there African people or people with African ancestry who are not Israelites, or are you just saying
Yeah,
this
of course.
specific nation that that are Israelites? They were dark
No,
skinned.
all the only reason I'm bringing this up is that you're using language about land masses, which has nothing to do with what the Bible uses. To
I was talking
describe
about ethnicity.
No, you're saying something about Africa, which is a place.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, the way the Bible deals with who a person is based on their ancestry up their father's line.
Okay. Okay.
That's my
Wait,
point.
I'll give an example.
Yeah.
Let me give an example real quick, and then I do want to let Luke chime in because I know he's been waiting for a few minutes. But real quick, if I walk up to somebody and ask, what is your ethnicity, right? Like, who are you? Where are you from, and whatnot? And what's your background? They tell me, oh, well, I'm an American. Well, wait a second. That doesn't prove, what race you are. If you can't just say you're an American, because we have over here in America, you have all different nationalities, cultures, skin type, all of that's over here. So you can't just say
right.
American because America is a place, right?
Right.
But anyway, Luke, you want to add something in, man?
And even if you were American, you can't be 1% American. Like, what does that mean? Like,
No, see, it's like it's a like I mean I can look up. It's an ancestry test. It's not. I'm not saying I'm like 1% a citizen of the Congo. It's just supposedly saying like it's like saying British
Congo.
or saying like German and French.
Mhm.
Like there's a supposedly like it's a racial thing. So
Yeah. So what? If you get again, we don't need to get into the genetics, but our
Right.
root code, quote unquote code, if you're an Israelite, that is going to get passed down to all your kids. Okay, and then
Okay.
it may add some numbers or letters at the end if you're intermingling with other nations, but that root quote code, it's going to be there. Again, we don't need to. I don't even know if anybody's even tried this, or because we need an example of somebody who is for sure an Israelite, and we don't have
Right.
that. So
So yeah,
that's
so
the
I
only
guess
way to
just
do it.
my major question is I actually like sort of gotta leave soon. Maybe I got like 5 more minutes, but
Yeah.
this would be my last question. And thanks so much. This has been really a pleasure. The pleasure's all mine, y'all. But like
Yep,
is
absolutely.
like what about, because I think this might be an outdated term, but they definitely use it like in the ADL and like the Anti-Defamation League and stuff. Like what
Mhm.
about like, because I think they say like there's like the Semitic languages like Hebrew, and they say it's like a Semitic language with and people are like, so what about the people in Israel right now today who may not be like what people call like African Americans or black people in the United States, but
Yeah,
they're like
I'll
vehemently
leave a
saying they're Jews. So
not to interrupt you, but I'll leave a good video in the chat. You can check it out after. It's a scholar, Dr. Ahmad Al-Gundi, who's an expert on Shemitic religions, and he speaks about how the Jews in Israel are there only by conversion of religion, not by race or ethnicity or history. So go and look at the work that he's doing. So it's not just us telling you this, but he also states in that video that Negroes and Israelites, or sorry, Jews do look like all people, but he says specifically that the Negroes are Jews. Okay, and you can even find this in the Zondervan Compact Dictionary. So I'll put that link in the chat. But look at people like that. It's not just us making up stuff. This is like
I didn't think
facts.
it was. I
Wait,
didn't think it was. This
can
is
I
this
ask
is
a question?
I've heard about stuff like this before. So
That's cool.
Yep, but can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You said, okay, so the tribe of Judah only, the other tribes of Israel, however, would not be therefore the so-called Negroes.
Yeah, we just said some will be scattered. Okay, some will do that, and then
got it now.
ETT and I have different position on Arzareth, but there's a group of 9 or 10 tribes that have went to a place called Arzareth.
And do you think those in Arzareth would be like
in the Middle East?
In the Middle East, okay.
Yeah, we're not here.
Okay.
According
Like where
to
exactly? Like that's not.
I think people have some.
Yeah,
it's a land that they're isolated from society because they want to honor God's laws. That's the whole point of them being there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know personally.
I would like to research more into this. The Arzareth. It sounds
intriguing. I'd say Arzareth is America, and that's how, if you read it, that's how the Native Americans got over here. That would be my understanding on that. But fair enough. Do your own, research on it. But anyway, I want to let Luke chime in because he's been waiting there for a while.
Okay, so
go ahead.
Basically, now the whole Black Jews thing, right? There's articles supporting that the Jews were actually black people, okay? And this is one of these articles about Ethiopian Jews. So you probably heard that story of the Ethiopian man coming to Jesus or Yahushua. Then Yahushua gave him Hebrew scrolls, and he went back to Israel. Can someone put that verse up of the Ethiopian man going to Jesus?
I'll look for it.
Hey, y'all, I gotta duck out. But and also, if you're talking about Ethiopia, I think Moses also might have married a Ethiopian woman. So that's just
that's true. He married a Ethiopian woman. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Y'all have a great night. Thanks so much. Bless.
Yeah,
take care, boy.
See you.
Take care. Luke, are you talking about Acts chapter 8?
Yes, Acts chapter 8.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I know that.
I also want to dive into the history of it. Okay. The history of why the Jews were black, and there's all articles like backing it up.
Yeah. We'll give you a few minutes to do it.
So Jews have lived in Ethiopia for 2,000 years. I'll read it here. So according to Ethiopian tradition, 1/2 of the population was Jewish before Christianity was proclaimed the official religion in the 4th century. Jews maintained their independence for over 1,000 years in spite of continuous massacres, religious persecution, enslavement, and forced conversions. With the help of modern Portuguese weapons, the Armagh family conquered the Jews in 1616, enslaving, converting, and killing them, known as flashes. a derogatory name, meaning stranger or exile. Ethiopian Jews could no longer own land or be educated. Today's Jews number only 25,000, less than 1% of the population, so 8% live in the Gondwana province in the Serbian mountains near Lake Tana. The rest live in the Tiger and the Wulo provinces. So basically, this is the first two paragraphs of this article right here. So it was the Portuguese, right, that literally took and enslaved the Ethiopian Jews. Okay, so if everybody can see, so with the help of modern Portuguese weapons, okay, thank you very much. So the Portuguese, right? Now you look up to another. Now you look up the Portuguese empire, right? The Portuguese also, I think, conquered Brazil and South America. So what I'm going to look up is Portuguese Empire, right? And also the Portuguese also did some trading with Britain, and Britain's the mother of the empire.
Wait, Luke, sorry, do you mind just summarizing your point before you get into the details, just so we understand what's the connection here?
I was trying diving down into the history. Okay. How about okay, let's get to the point first. The point is what I was trying
the only reason I say that is because the title of this stream is called Let's Get to the Money. But go ahead, sorry.
Okay, the point was, I thought we already went to the point where the Ethiopian man went to Jesus, and that's my point. So that also backs up why the Israelites are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. If you're Latino, you're related to Portuguese. So that's like Portuguese Empire. So you got Brazil, Portugal. Actually no, Portuguese weapons actually. Oh, sorry about that. So it was Portuguese weapons. Come on, my question is, who purchased the Portuguese weapons? Okay, well, let's look at the British Empire. Trying to remember what that Bible verse is, which is my point. What was that Bible verse again? I think Ethiopian man, wasn't it? Okay, he's in the chat. Let's look at the chat. Looks like Samuel Rumble Bottle. Okay, same with the Portuguese. Okay, so Sacramental Truth Movement has commented in the comments. Ethiopians are black. Yes. So the whole Latino thing, this is evidence that Latinos are the Israelites, and Latinos came from Ethiopia, right? So these people that were literally converting them, enslaving them.
Latino is pretty a broad term, though, right? Like we know Negro, we know what that means in terms of the way they are. So Latino is pretty broad, isn't it? Or
actually, what does ETT say? Income teachers.
I'm not debating that some of them could be, but I'm just wondering that's a bit ambiguous of a term. But,
oh yeah. Also, Ethiopians also blacks too. So
right. The way I would word it, for example, is anybody who can reasonably trace their ancestry, that they arrived here to America. They didn't come on a plane like I did on my family. They came on a slave ship. Then that they would be Israelites.
So your family came there by plane?
By plane, yep. So
to Canada.
To Canada. But my family was in India. So if I am an Israelite, then I would be one that was scattered.
Right.
Right. So let's cut to the chase on this.
Let's get to the money.
Yeah. Let's just cut the cake here. Let's get to the money. So I mean, hey, the evidence is there, to support what we're saying about, the real Jews of the Bible being so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And as I said, the real giveaway is all you got to do is look at the curses, right? All you got to do is look at the curses and what people fit those today. And it speaks for itself. So I mean, all you got to do is go by that, and you can quickly see, what's going on.
Let me say
I'll
this:
throw
if
back.
it's a group of the Ashkenazis, they don't need salvation because they're some of the richest people on earth. So why would they need salvation?
Zingers.
Right.
So
Hey, Bible Defender, welcome to the chat, man. Shalom.
we got BD 144.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, can hear me?
Mic check.
Yeah, we hear you, man. Welcome.
All right. I just wanted to know if you hear me.
Sacramento said he's from the lineage of David. So we might have a priest in the chat. I don't know.
The high priest, Tuller J.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask him because he said that Ethiopians are Jews, right?
Oh yes, yes, they are, and there's many articles and historian people
So
who are into
how
history.
how would you interpret Zephaniah 2:12 to 14?
Okay, so let's get into it. So Zechariah 2:14, wasn't it? I'll look it up.
Zephaniah 2:12 to 14.
Zechariah. Is it Zechariah, wasn't it?
Zephaniah.
No, I'll read it.
Zephaniah.
I'll read it just so while you're looking it up. Zephaniah 2:12. Yea, Ethiopians also ye shall be slain by the sword. Verse 13. And he will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria, and will make Nineveh desolation and dry like a wilderness. Verse 14. And flock shall lie down in the midst of her, all the beasts of the nations, both the cormorant and the bittern shall lodge in the upper lintels of it. Their voice shall sing in the windows, desolation shall be in the thresholds, he shall uncover the cedar work.
So how do you interpret that?
According to I go back to the Ethiopian history. To the Ethiopians, right? That there were Ethiopian Jews, this is historical. The reason why the reason why they had to be slain is because of the continuous massacres and religious persecution. So there was continuous massacres, right? And this was then Christianity was proclaimed the official religion in the 4th century. Okay, so we have the exile. So the Jews now is 1% population, as you can see here. Now, as you go down into the history of Ethiopia, right, due to this article, the government became Marxist, and the government was like, sees all religion as an enemy of the state. So the Marxist government of Ethiopia was trying to persecute like all religions, like Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and see,
Dude, what's that clicking, man? Just mute your mic if you're the one clicking. It's annoying.
I don't know who's clicking.
Go ahead, Luke.
So under the new government land and policies, Jews are allowed to own land. However, peasant associations can change to give poor quality land to Jews, and many are still without any land. So landlords continue to demand rent repayments of 50% of the crop, even after land reform. So there has been Jews from Ethiopia, but the Marxists, they came down onto Ethiopia and tried to oppress all the religions, like the Christians, the Hebrew Israelites in This happened in Ethiopia, okay, and it still goes on for today. And today there's a division between Orthodox Christians and Protestants in Ethiopia. And this way, Ethiopia's now on the top 50, one of the top 50 countries where it's very hostile to be a Christian or believe in Yahushua.
You wouldn't want to be a Christian in 2021. That's bad news.
But if they Jews as well, well, where they prophets?
Yeah, exactly. That's my question.
Where they prophets then?
For people who say that the Israelites are in Europe or in India or China, where is the understanding on Revelation then? That's what
where's the Ethiopian? Where's their prophets at if they're the Jews?
Okay, so the Jews, so according to this, okay, so the Christian empires wore the Star of David on their crown. So it says here, like the Star of David empire is like the line of the tribe of Judah.
But Luke, you're not. We concede that there's very possible
Yeah,
that Jews are in Africa. We don't doubt that. All we're saying, we're not actually saying that against you. We're saying that against really anybody out there who says that the Jews are not the Negroes in America. That's our point fundamentally. Of course, there are Jews scattered around the flat Earth. We know that.
This article backs up that the real Jews.
And another thing is every source is not credible. That's another thing. I'm not saying that's not credible. I'm just saying every source that you go to is not 100%
and there's also a possibility that those groups have taken those customs from Israelites. And I'm not saying that they're not genuine, but that doesn't mean that they're actual Israelites just because they practice circumcision and the law and all that, because a lot of nations cleaved unto them.
Because it's definitely like the Lord said, he said, ye Ethiopians also shall be slain by my sword.
Oh yeah, I know that verse.
Yeah, but yeah, just to round out this one, right? Because there's other topics to speak about. But yeah, we do have to. Some articles can be very beneficial. That's true. But with that being said, there's certainly ones out there that are false. I'll give an example. I'm sure you could find an article that says that that the Europeans are the children of Israel. I'm sure that's out there, right? We know that's not true. Well, one could pull up an article on it, just like one can pull up an article that proves preterism. But we know that's not true, right? Just like one could pull up an article that says Vatican City is Mystery Babylon.
And the earth is a ball. You could find millions of articles.
Right.
And there's
so we just got to be careful.
Right.
There's another thing that people say that the Israelites are only the English-speaking countries. So you have USA, Canada, UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, South. No, that is true. The Tomorrow's World teaches that. That's a
and especially if you're saying they come from the line of the tribe of Judah, they have to have prophets. There's no way.
Yeah,
there's no way you come from the tribe of Judah.
And I would say
you have no prophets.
Chariots. They have to know about the chariots. I've only heard that teaching from the so-called Negroes. Is that a coincidence? Come on, man. That's crazy if you believe that.
Yeah. No, let me say something on that, because I don't know about you guys, man, but from my research on it, the only ones I've seen who are talking about the UFOs are the Hebrew Israelites. I've never seen anybody else make a reference to them other than the Hebrew Israelites.
Well, here, ETT, let's clarify and say that they're righteous. We do have a lot of demons right now saying that they're evil. Okay. RV Truth is one example. So, yeah, I've only heard that. I first heard it from Louis Farrakhan, who would be a so-called Negro. So, yeah, I mean, how do people explain that?
About the chariots being
the UFOs being righteous.
Okay.
Yeah, being divine.
I mean, I haven't heard it from. I don't know where I heard it first. I think I told you from. There was the T Chase guy, but anyway.
Did anybody get to see that article? That video that I posted before. They took it down. If anybody could hear me.
What was it about?
It says thousands are injecting themselves with microchips to do everything.
I seen I
from
seen it. I didn't get to watch it, but I did see the notification of it
I
pop up in the thing,
I,
so I did see that.
I got it on my other channel. Hold on, listen to it. It says thousands are injecting themselves with microchips that do everything from unlocking doors and making payments. That's the key word, payments to store COVID vaccines certificates. Ooh.
Wait, they're injecting it where? Into their arm or in their hand?
In their hand.
Interesting. Okay.
And it has to do with the
It's
certificates.
it's a whole article. I'm gonna see if I can put it. I'm gonna see if
Yeah,
I can
drop
put
it
it.
in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
Let's see.
right. It's definitely no. It's very good. You know, as I said, man. You know, we all just got to be watching, man, because who the hell knows what's coming around the corner. Well, all I know is that, you know, going back to what we were saying, you know, these Christians don't know what's going on, man. Because if we just give them a listen, like, and I've been around the block, right? I've been around the block a little bit, so I know the doctrine they're on there talking about. But don't be deceived, because when you see these UFOs in the sky, that's Satan and his angels coming to
Right.
deceive the world with an alien
Hello?
deception. Say,
Right.
look, we're in like the 1%, not even, that knows the truth about this. We know that when we see these UFOs, it's not blue beam, it's not government propaganda, it's not Satan. It's actually the Lord and his angels, right? We know that.
I don't even know what would the percent be. It's probably one in, and I'm not exaggerating, probably 1 in 100,000 people, honestly, would know, you know, that they're righteous. Who knows, man? It's not many.
I mean, hell, who knows that the earth is hell?
Yeah, exactly.
I do.
Yeah, exactly. Not many. But that just
I
shows,
Oh,
man,
and
like
I've seen.
people
I
laugh
mean,
at us. People laugh at us because we have 5-10 people watch our live streams, but I take comfort in that now. I'm like, that's good. That's perfect. So that means that we're saying something true. So
I
I
tried to
seen that.
put I
Go
tried to
ahead.
put it in. I tried to put it in
The
the
chat.
chat. I don't know. I don't
You
know
need
how
to
it
have
popped
the
up.
range, the moderator. Can you make him a moderator?
I'd have to go on YouTube to do it.
but
I'll see if I can.
Bible Defender, I can do it, man. If you want, is it the last video you just posted on your channel? I can put that link. Is that what you want?
If you go to I have another channel. It's Underworld News 777. It's still up on that channel. Low willing they don't take it down, but it's still on
Wait,
that channel.
what you can do, Bible Defender, is put it on private chat, and then Mind of God can, because he has the
Yeah, that's good
range.
too.
He can do that.
Oh,
So
okay,
put it on
okay.
You know
private
what's
chat, and
interesting?
then from there you can. Yeah.
You know something that's
Makes sense.
interesting, man. There was a
I got it.
statement. I believe this was from maybe 2 years back or something. But everyone was getting on the Pope, and I believe even what's that character? What's this cat? Joe
I put
Rogan,
it I
right?
put
Even
it in
he
the private
commented on
chat.
this.
Oh, I like
But
Joe Rogan.
they were coming at Pope Francis because he said that hell isn't real, and the hell he's talking about is, you know, the place where people burn forever, right? So the Pope wasn't lying when he said that hell's not real, right? He knows the truth,
Right.
right?
Wait, what
So
was
as I
Joe
said,
Rogan
everyone got.
saying though?
I put it in the private chat.
Yeah, I already put it in the main chat, man. Thanks. I went to your channel. I didn't realize that you had this channel, so that's cool.
I got another channel too. It's the actual video is still up. I posted it, but you know, on this channel they took it down. They like, no, we can't. We gotta take that down. You talking too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they took that down ASAP. It wasn't even up for 3 hours. Literally, it was only up for 3 hours, and I didn't even post the
Right.
whole video. I posted a piece of it. Like, it's a whole 12-minute video. I dropped the link in the description to the actual video. Like,
Well,
and it's
let me
still
say this.
Hmm.
Let me add this in. Remember that video I sent you, Mind of God, before the thing? You didn't get to watch much of it, but the guy made a statement in the video.
Yeah.
He said something along the lines of, you know, well, hey, look, nobody has to worry, right? If people been, you know, fear mongering, you don't have to worry because the mark of the beast that already happened in the past. There is no mark of the beast that's coming. That already happened in
Right.
70 AD. Is what
Yeah.
he was saying.
Yeah, that's
And a
wow.
lot of people,
Jeffrey
I looked at the
Dahmer also
comments real quick,
teaches actually.
I was looking at the comment section, man, and I couldn't believe it. Everyone was down there. I only saw 2 people that disagreed with him. Everyone else was like, "Oh yeah, you know, thanks for giving me this, you know, truth bomb." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. The Christian church, man, I got the last strike that I got was because A woman literally said, "Just go along with whatever the government says. No worries." She literally said that.
Wow.
He's a quote
That's
unquote
old.
Christian. It's like, oh wow, man. It's like these people are
That's
finished.
wicked.
Yeah, they're finished, dude. But everything's, even with what you sent me today with RV Truth, man. Everything's shaping up for his grand appearance. The Most High visiting the world that He's made. That is said in Second Ezra. So it's pretty clear, that that's about to happen. So
Right. So
Yeah,
when everyone
talking.
sees it, go ahead.
Talking about Christians. Oh, can everybody hear me? Oh yeah. Talking about
Yeah, we can hear
Christians.
you.
Yeah. I remember going to the Christian church, and he said, "Oh, we have to obey the government." That's Romans 13. Oh, and like, here we go again. Romans 13, obey the government. And do you know how many people have taken the V without any resistance at all? None of them. They just willingly took it. Willingly took it. With no resistance. With no, I'm not going to take it until they force me to.
I ran into a Christian on the way home. He got cut. He was
What
passing.
happened?
How they be. How they be selling like the pamphlets, like the little,
Well, yeah,
passing
the
it out.
Watchtowers or something like that. Well, Jesus pamphlets. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He got cut. Now I usually leave them people alone, but he was an Edomite. He was selling it. And I'm like, dude, just stop. You got on the mask.
Selling.
Nobody should take you serious. Nobody should take
Selling.
you serious. And he's like, well, he's like, well, don't I gotta protect myself? I said, did you know the Lord put it on the earth? He's like, well, where can you show me that? Where's that at? I said, all you gotta do is read Matthew 24:6. Want me to read it for you? You're like, no, man, you're crazy. Why would the Lord do that?
Yeah,
So
man.
these
dude,
guys
you just got to read him ETT's favorite verse, Job 9:24. I'll pass it back to ETT.
I mean, hey, look, man. As they said, man, these cats. Hey, look. This is easier than putting a hot knife through butter, or better yet, 1,000-degree knife through butter, because that's what everyone was doing back in the day. Shout out to anyone who remembers that. But I mean, it's just easy peasy at this point, man. I mean, this isn't even a competition at this point. I mean,
Or
this
you
is
said
just
ETT. You said, which I'm not hating on the brother.
No,
Hey,
he says
look.
I'm not hating on the brother. If ETT calls you a brother, that's something special. No, he doesn't
No,
say
he
that to
even
everybody.
he sent me an email and he said, which I'm not hating on the butter, like literally butter. ETT is
Hey,
so
look.
funny, man. It's like,
Hey, look. Hey, look. As I said, man. Hey, look. I'm not hating on the butter, but I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, just like, hey, look. I got another thing. Just like, let me see this real quick. What was that character that we had on the show? What was that character that came on here yesterday?
Mike?
Oh, Samuel Owens. Samuel
Hey,
Owens, I
look.
would say.
No,
no,
he's
it
talking
was
about the
man.
IRS
tried and
guy.
refined.
The IRS guy. Yeah, I like that name.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Real quick, those cats, whether it be Mike, Samuel Owen, or those Triad down and laid to the side, hey, look, man, those guys are about as sharp as a wet blanket hanging on a clothesline. That's all I got to say about those guys, man.
Yeah.
Man,
You know
don't
the-
go
you know
against
the-
Mike, man. He's pretty intense. He might,
I heard a line
No,
from a
Mike
rapper.
ain't on no level.
He's like, you'll never throw rice at a Chinese wedding. That means that you're weak. Those people are all weak, man. You see them in the streets, they're not going to do a damn thing, dude. So those guys are just actors.
Right.
I mean, hell, LOP. Hey, look, that cat Mike, he ain't on no level. All he's doing there is he's sitting there saying a lot. But then if you ask him, well, what verse says that in the Bible? He doesn't know. Like,
You
I'll
mean
give it a
Grim?
perfect
You
example.
mean Grim?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh yeah.
He ain't on that brother ain't on no level. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, it's a bit hard with him. I do have like some understanding with him, like some agreements with him, but in
What do
some
you agree
cases,
from?
we talk more than you talk with him because I talk to him on Discord. So I mean, we talk about many things. So, but anyway,
Well,
And
we
another thing
know
would
that we know that he's going off because he's going around telling people that things that are sins are not sins. So that's a red flag off the
I think
start.
LOP is talking about non-Bible stuff, but yeah,
we agree. Yeah, we agree more about the non-Bible stuff as well,
Well, that's
and
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, we don't doubt that he,
because
knows
he's
how
a
to
really
take
like
care.
a how do you say? He's really like a, I don't know, like we agree on many things,
Yeah, the
aside from the
issue
Bible.
the issue I have with people like that, and I've come across this with other flat earthers. They're like, "Oh, I don't have a temptation to eat pork. I don't have a temptation to be adulterous or kill anybody." Yeah, but that doesn't matter, man. The whole world needs laws, okay? Just because you're not going to go and break those laws, again, we don't even know if that's true, but that doesn't mean that you don't need any laws just because you yourself are not going to go break those laws. So that doesn't matter. That's his argument, and we're not asking about him wanting to eat pork. It's about everybody.
Yeah,
So
which Mike said he doesn't eat the pork, but he just said because it's a dirty animal.
right,
Right, right.
exactly. Yeah,
But he said it wasn't a sin though, and that's the
exactly.
problem. As I said, let me say this.
Well, I mean, it
Mike
says
might
it's an
say,
abomination,
hold on.
which, right?
Well, wait a second. Wait a second, LOP. Hold on a second. If you go to, I'll give a perfect example. If you go to what he brought out about the Ten Commandments, right? And what is it? Exodus, the 20th chapter. I'll give an example. It says, "Thou shalt not kill," right? But then if you go to Leviticus 11, it says, "These are the animals that ye shall not eat," right? So it's given the same language. The Lord's given a commandment. So how could he say that when it says, "Thou shalt not kill," that's a commandment? But when he says, "These are the foods that ye shall not eat," how can he say that's not a commandment?
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
The
I
Lord said,
mean,
"Ye shall not." Go ahead.
yeah, it is. It is a dietary law.
All I know
So
is I know LOP loves talking about pork. Like he prefers that we
me,
talk about that.
no,
I'm just
no,
kidding. I'm
but
just
but
messing.
dude, like I don't know if I told you this, but like I never even read the Bible until I was like what was it, 17 years old. But I hated pork like since I was like, I think it was 12 years old, because
Hello.
my parents ordered me something, and I barfed literally after eating some pork chops. So then I
Mhm.
was like, I can't
Yeah.
eat this. So I was like, and I never actually, even before it, like, or whenever I ate some of the like seafood that is also like in the law of God that we shouldn't eat, that I always like, I almost vomited after it. So I think like God put already the dietary law in me that I don't like
Let,
these
let
foods.
me give an
You know what I
example.
mean?
Let me,
Right.
yeah. Let me give an example, man. Now we got to be careful with what we're eating, because I'll give this. I was looking the other day on I was at the, what is it, the damn, Dollar General. I was looking at the chips, trying to find myself something, because I don't get the chips to have I believe it's called glutamate or something like that on the back. It contains pork if you look at the ingredients of it. But all the chip bags had it in it, so I was like, oh damn, I can't find anything to eat. You know what I'm saying? So it just shows you, man, that they're putting this in a lot of stuff, man. So
Right.
Oh,
you
you
got
mean
to
in
always look
chips?
at the ingredients. Yeah, yeah,
It's
chips.
like a
Oh, okay.
preservative. It's like a preservative.
definitely,
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
I guess. Well, you can eat
It's in the
only
yab.
potato chips
It's in the
without
yab.
any
So
flavor.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Isn't
but
a yab too?
here's the deal, dude. They'll do it just because this world is evil. They'll put it in stuff even if they don't need it. ETT was saying they're in marshmallows. I got a freaking bag of marshmallows that I can't eat anymore. I like that in my hot chocolate. So
I
they'll just put it in there just for spite.
Yo,
oh, okay. I
hey, real
don't
quick.
eat
Hey,
marshmallows,
look.
but
Let me say this, man. ETT grew up
Hello.
on eating. Let me say this. ETT has been growing up eating, Doritos and Rice Krispie treats. Those are the bomb right there. And then the damn Slim Jims, my favorite. But then I found out is all of those have pork in it, right? So now that I know,
Wow.
now I don't eat it, right? When
I
I
ain't
when
know
I
about.
didn't know I ate them, but now that I know, now I got to stay away from
yeah,
Wow.
it's hard to
I
say
know.
because sometimes they will say, "Oh, this is beef," but they will also put pork there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Even like I used to go to Potbelly Subs and then order their meatball subs, and I thought, whatever, this is just beef or whatever. But then you look at it, you realize there's actually pork in those meatballs, so it's
or
not just beef.
or for example, we have here like sausages, right? And these are like chicken, but they will say, "Oh, but it is 5% of pork as well."
Exactly. Right.
So it's
Exactly.
kind of, yeah.
And then what he tries to do, as I said, man, Mike, that brother's not on much of a level. He don't know a whole lot. He's on the low vibration, because what he did is he went to Matthew 15, where Christ was speaking about eating without washing your hands, and he used that to say. And if you watch the video, you'll see he said, It's not that which goes in the mouth that defiles you, but it's that what comes out. So see, that means you can eat whatever you want. It's like, well, wait a second. Going by the conversation they had, all you got to do is go back to verse 2, and it clearly tells you the conversation was about eating with unwashed hands. So that's a clear example and how a lot of these cats, they just go around saying things without knowing what they're talking about. I'll throw back to anyone.
Mm-hmm. I
ETT,
think
you
it's
gotta pin my most recent comment, man. We're calling out these shills, man. RV Truth is a damn devil demon if he's teaching that these chariots are not from the Most High. So
What
that's
up the
Wait,
comment again? I will see.
did he teach that? I didn't watch his recent video.
he kind of goes back and forth. He'll post one video on his backup channel saying, "Look out for the salvation being through UFOs." Then today he posts a couple videos, one longer one about how the next trick card in the Illuminati card thing is an alien deception. So
Yeah.
now
I
he's
know
pushing
that
that.
these
he
dudes is
believes it's
bugging
gonna
out,
be a
man.
fake, like
Right.
staged event or
And
something.
that's what I suspect people like
Oh,
Mike are pushing too.
oh, you heard
Right.
about the Limiters channel doing a 4-hour live stream calling, I think, 33 truther channels a shield. You heard about that one?
No.
I
Actually, I
think
know
I
ETT heard
seen
about.
I seen it, but I don't have time to watch that.
Oh,
But I
it's
did see the
just
thumbnail.
ridiculous. You know, I was watching it. It was like, oh, come on, this is ridiculous. Not everyone's a shield.
Well,
Just
Luke,
because you
what do
have
you
a
think about RV
disagreement.
Truth? Luke, what do you think about RV Truth? Do you know Russian vids in particular? What are your thoughts?
I know he had a channel. I know he had a channel taken down. I don't know much about him, to be honest,
Channels
but
plural. He had
But
like
he
50
won't teach this earth is
taken
hell
down.
like we do, like the Bible says. He won't teach that.
Oh, you
talking
want to talk
about
about
Earth,
this?
is it?
This is my favorite, one of my favorite albums from the band Symphony X. It's called "The Divine Wings of Tragedy," and it has to do a lot about the about the Dante's Inferno and stuff. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these channels out there like promoting politicians and all that. I tell you what, an actual show is someone who tells the truth, does these exposed videos, then says, "Oh, Trump's the leader, Trump's this or Trump's that," or do all these exposed Illuminati videos,
So what
then
do you guys?
promotes the New Age movement, like
What do you
the
guys think about
meditation.
Here, let Bible Defender chime in.
What
Oh
what
yeah.
do you guys what do you guys think about this new so-called variant that's out there? What do you think that
Yeah,
what's
we
the
talked about that a little bit on here, man. I mean, yeah, it just shows you that's a sign of the times because Christ said in Matthew 24, which by the way did not fully happen in 70 AD, because I know you're gonna have somebody on there saying that. But Christ said one thing to look out for was the pestilences, right? So what's going on falls under the category of pestilences, right? So this just shows us, the signs of the times. So I mean, I don't know how guys still can't see it.
oh yeah, and another thing is that's why you gotta watch. That's why the Lord said watch and be sober for your be sober because your adversary the devil walking whom seeking whom he devour. Roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And I know y'all heard about that thing with that dude and they were saying that he was a Hebrew Israelite and he
Yeah,
saying
Christmas.
that
But
exactly. So look, you got that going on. They trying to be accuse the brethren, right? Which they've been doing for years. Now you got this new variant out. So you got a second lockdown coming, which is gonna totally wipe out the economy. Totally wipe it out. Once they shut this down, you Negroes out there, listen, I'm gonna tell you something about you Negroes out there. If any of you bird brain Negroes is watching this video, you niggas need to wake up. I don't know what you think is going on in this world. I don't I don't know what you think is going on in the world. You still chucking and jiving. You still clapping your hands in the church. You still, running around eating your pork, past the bacon downstairs at Sunday service, giving you pork chops and all type of madness. And come on, Jake, you gotta wake up now. You had the Christianity, you had the Islam, you had all of the false doctrines. Just it's over now.
As
Playtime's
Tahar
over.
would say, that's played out, man. Christianity's played out. It's
Well,
not.
What needs to happen? Oh, sorry. Okay, what needs to happen is you, Bible Defender, and ETT. I think even myself included. We all need to get out onto the streets and preach to these people. Preach to these people.
Where does it say to do that? Preach. What are you going to preach to them?
That's in what is that? I want to say Luke the 14th chapter goes out to the highways and byways. So let me say this: we have the internet to teach on today. That's true, and that's let me say this: that's how all of us came into this, is by hearing this on YouTube. That's true.
Yeah.
But the way that you reach people the most is by going out and teaching on the highways, because somebody might stop and hear what you're saying, and they might be compelled to look into it. But if they were just, see the video and the recommendation for some reason on the internet, they'll just skip past it and they'll never hear this, right? So by teaching on the highways, it is beneficial because new people can hear it, and if they get compelled, they'll look further into it.
Dude, can I get a precept on that Omnitron or that Tricepticon thing we were talking about? Check this out.
Yep.
2 Ezra 15:49. I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, listen to this, and pestilence to waste thy houses with destruction and death. 2 Ezra 15:49. You add 15 plus 49, you get 64 plus 2, 66. 2 Ezra 15:49. So this Bible is constructed perfectly. Okay.
I actually never heard of this new thing that you are
just came out today.
talking about.
Just came out
it's only today. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But LOP, they're locking up travel. I don't know if you're planning to travel, but literally they're not allowing flights from South Africa because that's where it apparently originated, yada, yada, yada.
Wait.
No, but I mean, I don't travel since the whole thing started, pretty much. Only between the city and my cottage. So
Right.
Yeah. Right, but this is in the prophecies. It says, and mine got brought it out earlier. Scriptures say a man will desire to go into a city and he will not be able to. Right, so that's clearly the time that we're coming in right now. You got these idiots out there, man, telling you that there's no prophecy in the Apocrypha, so that's why they don't believe it. I mean, come on, man. These cats are hey, the cooning is just too much.
And I got one more thing to say. And this is concerning you, Vocab, if you watching this video, because you a demon too. And the Most High gonna take you out. You gonna be destroyed.
Who?
You don't even Vocab, Hocab Malone, Mark Reisenberg. Anyway,
look him up.
This dude is talking about the Apocrypha is not inspired by the Most High. Now, I know why he's saying that, because every time you go up to the camp and you read 2 Esdras 6 and 54 to 57, he get cut. And so he says, that's not a part of the Bible. Well, by logical deduction, as ETT would say, why would anybody that uses the KJV, why would the Lord and many other people quote from the Apocrypha?
Right.
Go ahead.
Just for the audience, I know exactly what he's talking about. Just for the audience, go ahead and get the book of 2 Ezra chapter 1, verse 30, and match that up with what Christ said in Matthew chapter 23 and verse 37, just for the audience. That would be my first question to Vocab Malone. And I've seen that he even has a book about the Black Hebrew Israelites. Look it up on Amazon. Right, but this cat, if he's saying the Apocrypha is not inspired, my first question to him is, why did the Messiah, right, Christ, why did he quote directly out of the Apocrypha? Mine got it to you.
Yeah. 2 Ezra 1:30, I gather you together as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings. But now what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face. Matthew 23:37, O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathered their chickens under her wings, and ye would not.
Spiritual KO right there.
And ETT, you also remember the one that I mentioned that Jesus also quoted in that was on, I put it out on as a video. It's you remember that one?
I've seen, I wouldn't know that off the top of the head, but I did see something you put up about that. But I mean, there's so many.
Look it up real quick.
But dude,
there's so many places that you can go to prove it. It's unbelievable how these guys don't believe in the Apocrypha. I mean, it's so clear.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Can you pull it up? It's 1 Esdras 4:20.
Yep.
Jesus directly quotes that. So
First Ezra 4:20, a man leaveth his own father that brought him up and his own country and cleaveth unto his wife.
You said that was first address what?
420. I posted it on as a video because that Jesus directly quotes that man leaveth his father
Right.
and his. It adds the country as well, but you know that's
Yeah, I remember
almost a
Christ
direct
making a statement about that in
quote.
the
And if
in
you
the
got
gospel.
from Old Testament, sometimes they also like leave out one word or something like that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But I had some.
Right, but
I had a little
here's
continuation. What I
go
was
ahead.
saying pertaining to vocab. I'll give it right back. If anybody's watching this video, any of you Negroes out there, you watching this video, any of you Israelites out there watching this video, if you following this demon, you don't know the scriptures, and if you following this demon vocab alone, the Most High is going to take you out. The Most High is going to take you out right with that demon. That's all I gotta say. Do not follow that demon. I don't care how many videos he posts about the Hebrew Israelites. He is a demon, man. He's a demon,
You,
man. I'm telling you.
you know,
Right.
you know
Now,
vocab
real quick,
Malone. You know
go ahead.
vocab Malone. He's
Yeah.
the last name Malone sound. You heard Post Malone.
Yeah.
That could
Oh
them two
yeah,
could be
Post
related. Them
Malone.
two could be related. You know what I mean? I got a
Right,
feeling
but
vocab's related to Post Malone.
And
And
Post
I've
Malone
seen
looks
Post Malone's
really whack.
latest, like I've seen Post Malone's like latest music video, and
Well,
he's like up there with The Weeknd. It's like, come on,
But
and he
I'll
has
yeah,
a
listen. I'll listen.
famous
he's a really
song.
I'll
good
listen to Post.
guitarist, actually.
I'll listen to Post Malone's testimony over Vocab Magone's testimony, man.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, and vocab is a rapper.
yeah, exactly. They're all rappers, man.
But Post Malone was on Joe Rogan as well, and I
Yeah.
didn't listen to it.
I like
It's
some of
hard
Post
to.
Malone's music, man. Vocab's just this damn actor,
No,
man.
but I don't like his music. But he made a
And
video like
vocab, if you
him
watching the
being
show,
in a
click that link.
guitar.
yeah,
He was in a guitar store, and he was just like, oh, I was saying, oh, he can also like play the guitar really well. But in his music, it doesn't really do that. But anyway.
Anybody that tattoos their face that much, I mean, they're got to be like, you got to be like stupid, man. Like,
Yeah. The tattoos are just
I don't know if you
ridiculous.
guys know about this. I don't know if you guys know about this, but he back in the day, I'm talking like maybe 3-4 years ago at this point, he used to have a little, member group that he had. I believe they called themselves the Shield, the Shield Squad. They should call themselves the Shield Squad. Inside joke. But there is one person in the group. If you look up on YouTube her channel's name, I believe it's Sister Cherry or something like that. Which I went on her show a couple years back and had a discussion with her. But I mean, they have a guy on there. I believe his page is David Wood or something like that. But there's a video going around, and this guy, he dressed up in his wife's, clothing, and then he said before that he actually tried to kill his fuller. He chased him with a hammer or something like that. You all can look into that, but I mean, it's like he put on his wife's clothing, and that's clearly against the scripture. So why the hell is Vocab Malone hanging out with this guy? And there was a video where they both came out to GMS. They came out to the apostles, right? David Wood and Vocab Malone came out to talk with the apostles, man. So it just shows you, man. They should have asked him, well, why are you hanging around this guy who's wearing women's clothing? That's clearly against the scriptures.
He
And they're
came even
supposed
to
to
the
be
Houston
Christian
camp.
apologists.
ETT, he came to
What
the
was that?
Houston camp, dude. He just trolls all the groups and just like he went to Naz. He has a video with him and Naz and INOP. So he goes to Chicago. He'll go to New York. He'll go to Houston. He's just like a fanboy, basically. He's like actor. So yeah, I mean,
Right.
what's how can you not be an agent if you have all the time to go fly and just talk to people like that? Really? Come on, dude.
Right,
He's obviously
right.
an
But
agent.
I mean, hey, look, anyone that doesn't believe the Apocrypha, because there's a lot of cats out here, man. There's a lot of guys. Ask Christians about it. I guarantee you, the vast majority of them don't even know what that even is.
Yeah.
But these guys that have something negative to say about it, it's like, well, wait a second. If I can show you in the New Testament where they make quotations that I can find in the Apocrypha, by logical deduction, that means that they're quoting from the Apocrypha because the Apocrypha was written before the New Testament. Because what some guys try to do is they'll say that well they made the Apocrypha in a way to make it look like it sounds like the New Testament to
Right.
try to trick people. It's like, well, wait a second, but the Apocrypha was written before the New Testament. So by logical deduction, you would have to conclude that the New Testament would be taking scriptures from the Apocrypha, would be
Oh yeah.
taking
And I got
words from
another
the
thing. I got
Apocrypha.
another
Right.
cut to that.
Yep.
Another cut to that is isn't history Susanna a continuation of Daniel, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah,
I
one of them
believe so.
overlap. Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
yeah, it is. It is.
So how is come on now? Let's be real here. You know,
How do
so
we
this
answer
dude,
this question in the chat? T-Mog and Bible Defender are agents and disinfo agents. How do we respond to that from the
well, I'll
Sacramento
just,
truth moments?
I mean, if he's just playing, then I'll let it go. But at this point,
Yeah, that
you know,
that
click
that
that
buzzer's
link.
just a professional actor inside.
Which you're not hating on the brother, right?
No, we're not.
Yeah,
We're
we're
not
not
hating on the
hating on
butter.
the butter.
We're not hating on the butter. Absolutely not. I can't believe it's not butter. Actually, I can't believe it.
Yeah, do you guys remember when you guys had Swift on the
Oh
on
man,
the
did you
Yeah,
see
on the
that one? That was
on the
crazy.
on the channel? He was sitting there talking about he said T-Mark, can you say it to my face? And I'm sitting there like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you getting so bent out of shape because you're cut? Just,
Yeah.
hey, he's been
No, but
he's been
dude,
smoking too much crack.
but LOP and I talked to him man to man after you guys left, and we looked into his eyes, his soul. We saw emptiness. We're like, why are you here, man? Like, what are you trying to teach us?
He looked
If
he
he's
looked
trying to
kind
teach
of
us, but if he's trying to teach us we're in the
depressed.
new covenant, he should be happy, right? If we're in the new covenant, why aren't you happy? Why are you coming on here saying, "Oh, see me in the streets and you're gay and this and that"? If you're in the new covenant, all you new covenant people, go enjoy your damn new covenant then, you dummies. Don't come here and start yelling at us. If you're in the new covenant, go enjoy Babylon.
you know what it is, because the scriptures tell you're not supposed to have long hair. That long hair is bugging them out.
LOP
No,
will-
but that was William, the new guy.
yeah, that was another guy. But
But
Swift
I have
also,
a very long.
Swift
I have
also
longer
has
hair
dread.
than William actually. So,
But he's talking. Swift has dreads though, which you're not supposed to. I don't think either. So
no. The
I wonder what
Samson had dreadlocks. So it's, or are you saying it's against the law or?
I'm not sure who he's talking about, but either way,
No, but the Tuller J said like braided hair is like sometimes mentioned in the Bible. It is mentioned in the Bible, but not in the sense of being it being a law actually. So I can pull it up actually if you want.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a whatever topic.
Yeah. It's a whatever topic. It's not a law. I wouldn't say that, but
Yeah.
it's like the scripture say. It's a shame for men to have long hair. So we're not gonna sit here and say, oh, you guys are breaking the law. No, but and being a man, why would you want long hair anyway?
Because I like it. I mean,
well, T-Mog barely has any hair, so I don't really have those issues. Other people have, so it's fine.
I don't understand. Like I've ever since I was like 15 years old, I had long hair, and I never wanted to. I feel like it's not myself when I have short hair. Okay, I feel like this is not me.
Come on, brother. You gotta grow up. You gotta.
What? Yeah, well, how old are you, man? I'm 32. Okay. Okay.
I'm only 22.
Okay, so
hey, ETT's only
I'm 22 too.
Dude, Bible Defender, you're 22 years old, dude. I didn't know you were that young. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm 22 too.
I just turned 22.
Dude, you guys are all young, man. Me and LOP are we're your grandfathers, man. You guys got to respect us, man. Put respect on me.
I am 32, but T-Mog is even older, right?
Yeah, I'm the oldest, it looks like here, so.
You are the elder.
That's why I'm the most bitter. I'm the most like angry, but that's fine.
I'm the second most though angry.
Yeah, that's
Elder Apostle T-Mog.
Yeah. Exactly.
I like
ETT. Who am I, man? I'm gonna do an impersonation. ETT. Am I a Levitical priest? Yes or no?
Wait, but what about the whore? He says he's a little Levitical priest too. So
Dude,
what
I'm
one do
telling
I
you,
go
man.
by then?
I watch that debate once a week just to make me laugh. It's just the funniest
Nah,
Hey,
classic,
look,
yeah,
I'll tell you.
dude.
Hey,
that debate
look,
is hilarious.
Classic, dude.
hey, look. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me say this. Let me say this. I thought of a good cut on them after the debate. I thought of this because they tried to tell me that when I went to what is that, Mark 5:42, they told me that the word there for damsel means a little girl, right? Wait a second. Here's the cut though. Here's the cut. That keep that in mind. That's what they said. So if you go to First Kings chapter 1 verse 1, it uses the exact same word. It says they brought a young damsel to King David when he was on his
Right.
deathbed. So wait a second. Wait a second. So according to the Deacon and Facade, that means the Bible says that an old man can sleep with a little girl. According to Deacon, how can he get around it? That
Hmm.
it says that
Cut,
same word is
cut.
being used, and that's not ETT making it up because that's what they made it sound like. But that's what the Bible says. It
Those
uses the
guys
exact
are
same word.
those guys are what's called placating to their audience, dude. I mean, they got a bunch of, you know, fools basically that follow
Hey,
Let
them.
me let me say this real quick. Let me add this in. Let me add this in. Dealing with the whole bride kidnapping thing. I even brought up to Deacon. It's like, have you ever heard of something called bride kidnapping? And he was like, well, what is bride kidnapping? It's like, well, wait a second. All we gotta do is look that up on Wikipedia. That's the practice you find in Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter. But here's the cut though, because guys try to say that when it says lay hold, it means to agree. But here's the problem. If you go to Deuteronomy, the 21st chapter, start at verse 18 on down, it speaks about if a man and woman have a stubborn and rebellious son, it says they shall lay hold on him and bring him to the elders, and he shall be killed. Wait a second, it says the word lay hold. So did he agree to be stoned to death, or did they take him by force? So if they
Right.
agree it's by force, but then by logical deduction, they must agree that Deuteronomy 22, verse 28 is talking about by force, because it uses the exact same word. So
Hmm.
they're
What do,
just,
what,
those guys are cut.
what do you guys think about
Hmm.
IUIC saying that you can have one wife, which is clearly
Oh,
off.
they're
But
going out. They're clearly going out.
Have you seen videos of their Passover, dude? It's so Babylonian. It like makes me sick.
Wait,
Like
what do you mean?
bunch
What do
of
you mean?
fools.
You can have one wife or what?
they
What
saying
did you say?
they saying you only can have one wife, which is not biblical.
Um, well, I don't know. I mean,
First of all, Nate is
it,
literally an officer. He's a detective. He's literally a detective. So I mean, how do we take that guy seriously, man? Come on. So really,
Well, Nate,
Yeah, yeah.
Nate, 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 Nate took the jab. If you guys didn't know,
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, did they post that?
no. If you watch, well, you don't watch Apostle Hall, but
Mm-hmm.
he, Apostle Hall was making a video. Nate hasn't been, showing his face lately, and
Really?
it,
Hey, wait,
and
so did what's this character? Just like what's this cat?
Johanna.
Captain
Johanna,
Tazariak,
Yeah.
aka Captain Crunch, right? He took the
right,
yab too.
right.
He's
Oh,
probably on
and
his second Euster right now. You know what I mean? We can't use the word, but you know what I'm saying. He's probably on his second or third Euster.
and
Right.
wait, I got another. Hold on, I got another link for you guys too, right? I got another link for you guys. Hold on. Got another link. Let me get it. Hold on.
Man, all I'm gonna say why he's putting that in, man. Hey,
Yeah.
look, Sakari be tap dancing around them skip cheese like the bottom half of Betty Ripson.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. Hey,
Yeah.
look, when ETT went on here, I should have told him this. Hey, look, Gorilla Hebrew. Hey, look, you jester. I am Montress. I'm about to make you my Fortunato. And I'm gonna seal this conversation up as if it was the cask of a Montellata.
that's
Those
from the
guys got
Joker
cooked.
Dude, they
rap battle, right?
LOP, you should have listened to that debate. They literally started calling him Biggie like midway in the debate. Like
Wait, can you
that's
show
when
me
you
that?
know they got respect, dude. They're like, okay, Biggie, cool, okay, cool. So,
Can you show me
that's
that?
no, like you got to watch the debate, man. It's just mad funny. It's
No, yeah.
crazy.
Can you show
I'll send
like
you. I'll send.
Oh,
send
I'll
sorry,
me
yeah,
send you
email
a
I'll put it
link.
in the chat. I'll put it in the chat.
or
Yeah,
email or okay?
yeah. Dude. What was the label of it, man? It was on the destruction mode, but do you remember the date?
It
I'll
was a
find it,
few
man.
months back. Few months back. If you go to my YouTube channel and go to the playlist, there should be one that's called Debates, and if you look on there, you'll see it has basically a cartoon picture of D Coon on
Okay,
the front of it.
yeah. It's important for
Uh,
people to watch this
I
because
put
this was a
I put
massive.
another link. I put another link in
I'll try to
the
find it later, but
I
if I
put
can,
another.
I will just
Yeah.
email you, Nathan.
Yeah. You might like it, dude. I don't watch all of it, but I just find it funny as hell, dude. It's just I don't know. What to
I
say.
mean, he's always funny.
Yeah, it's classic.
I put
Let
the
me
link. I
say
put the
this.
link in the private chat. You know,
Classic shit.
Okay, cool.
it's a whole new jab out.
Jeez.
Let me add this in. Let me add this in. Did you guys know that Sakura teach that that in the kingdom, God's elect are gonna live for 1,000 years, then they're gonna die and be born again?
Wait,
That's
Born
what they
again.
teach. Let me say this. Let me say it. They call it. Oh, let me see. What do they use? I believe they call it the lifespans in the kingdom. They say the elect live 1,000 years and then they die and then they're like born back again or something like that.
well, I know
That's what
what
they're.
they are taking it from is the book of Isaiah. A child
What
shall
verse?
die something 100 years or something like I don't know, or maybe I think you know that verse I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I know. We know what you're talking about. That they're gonna live a long, long life. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. But
the whole
Right,
point
but
of the elect,
that doesn't.
the whole point of the elect, though, is that they won't die. It's everlasting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
right.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, Christ literally said, that they're gonna get everlasting life. So I don't know where, excuse me, I don't know where these guys are getting that the elect's gonna die after 1,000 years. I don't know where the hell they're pulling this from. And I saw that GMS went on a whole hiatus about it, making 100, 200 videos about it, and all that. I
That's
mean, hell,
weird.
they don't believe that the book of Hebrews is inspired or something like that.
Jeez.
Well,
D Coon's too busy at the Atlanta strip clubs, man. He's got to get out of those damn strip clubs and stop rapping. You know what I mean? You can't. God's not gonna give you revelation in a damn studio, man. Come on,
Right.
man.
And Deacon, he made a music video. He said GMS is hating on him because he got a new Benz.
Right. I seen that.
T-Mog just sold his Benz, man. So what does that say? Okay, I'm just
You
kidding.
had a Benz car?
Yeah, not anymore.
Okay.
But yeah.
Wow.
T-Mog was living okay for a little while, but the things of the world, they don't interest me anymore. These women are stupid, man. This food's disgusting. Everything's stupid, man. We gotta get out of here. This
Word.
is
Yeah.
T-Mog had all the riches.
dude. We got this truth, as ETT would say. We got with us this thing of ours. Okay,
Right.
so
This thing of ours, right? This thing of ours is Elder Apostle Gabor Coin, which of course is Seer Shalom to the elders of Great Millstone, right? Much respect will certainly due to the elders and to the apostles.
Double honor to the
ATT, I asked him for a debate. He's like, watch my videos. I'm like, you need to watch my videos. That's what I said to him, dude. He had no response after that.
Hey, how do you ETT? How do you always say that? I want to say shalom, and I want to say double honor to the great apostles at the great millstone, like that.
No, not to the great. No.
Don't.
No. ETT says
No,
like
you just-
double honor to the.
double
No, he
honors.
always says this: a sincere shalom to the apostles at Great Millstone. Okay. Rock,
Yeah, but
rock
once-
upon Yahweh, rock upon Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, but once he also had he didn't say that, but he had a tagline there on his stream called "Double Honor to the Apostles" at the GMS.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, I got to tell you something. Now, Bible Defender sent a link like End Times headlines, and I looked on. I know End Time headlines, and I see, wow, Salvation Army goes woke with new anti-race message asking white donors to apologize for their unconscious bias. Yeah.
Right.
I looked at the Salvation Army Australia website, and guess what I saw right on the bottom? Just guess what flag I saw.
The rainbows.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They're everywhere,
And
man.
this is
Hey, mind of God. Mind of God, real quick, buddy. Pull up the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 17, and this will answer LOP's question he asked me.
Okay.
LOP, listen close, brother.
What question?
No, you'll get it in the answer. But what I really think is happening is that Tahar needs to start
the
doing
double
this.
honor.
He needs to start doing this to ETT because he's a flat earther now. But 1 Timothy 5:17, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine.
I get you
right,
now.
Right, so that's
ETT.
why.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's why I give the elders and the apostles my respect. It doesn't mean I agree with everything they're saying, but I'll give them respect because I did learn, a majority of what I learned from them. And matter of fact, even Gorilla Hebrew, right, the guy that we were talking about earlier, am I a Levitical priest? Yes or no? That guy, even he was brought up under GMS, right? So he said in one of his videos that he even gives, respect to GMS because he learned under them, right? So even though we might not agree on all the, the teaching, we still got to give the elders respect because they did teach us a majority of, what we know.
Check this out, ETT. You'll like this, man. This is what it comes down to with ETT in our round 3 sparring match. If anybody has time, I would recommend watching it. It was deep. 1 Timothy 5:19, and against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses. So it comes down to the 2 witnesses. That's in 5:19, 24, 44. But I genuinely believe at this point that Tahar is literally learning from ETT and just not being upfront about it. So Tahar, if you're listening, you got to give credit where credit is due, man. We're bringing out the flat earth. And I think that's your next live stream, right? So we'll prove it to them. No worries.
Yeah, I told GMS Australia to click that link because they're sitting there saying, well, there ain't no flat earth in the Bible. I asked them, okay, cool. So why does it say
it
that,
definitely is. It definitely is.
Yeah.
yeah, why does it say that
They
the sun revolves around the world?
they need to come onto this stream and debate you.
Yeah, I mean, it will make it easy. It's not even a debate. It's so easy to prove. Like,
Well. If you debate in GMS, you might get kicked out of the camp.
yeah,
Oh, that's how it always comes.
Did Steven Anderson try to debunk flat Earth from the Bible? Did you see that? Did you?
No,
it was
but that
like
would be funny.
No, he did that. It was like maybe 2 years
Send us a
ago,
link.
3 years ago.
Yeah, that would be funny.
No, he
Yeah,
did
send
that.
us a link
I don't
to
know.
that.
Maybe it's deleted already, but because his
Yeah.
channel got.
No, I've heard the elders try and debunk flat Earth, and it was funny, man. They took the video down, which was smart because it was absolutely ridiculous.
I seen real quick. I seen on one of the Horror's old channel. One way he debunked the flat Earth is he took a video clip of basically the live,
Yep.
feed of space, and he titled the video, Flat Earth Debunked. It's like, wait a second, so you're using CGI to debunk it? That would be like, what if somebody said that's the same line of logic as somebody said, oh, well, the Israelites, Jesus, let's say this Jesus isn't black. How you ask them? Well, they pull up a picture of Jesus on the phone and say, oh, well, see that it shows of him, he's white on the phone. So
That was
see that
perfect.
proves it.
That was
The
perfect.
same
That was a
line of
good
logic
analogy.
is what they're doing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I
it's
talked.
just,
Yeah,
come on, man.
I talked with this, like with my dad, and he believes like he doesn't want to even question it. He thinks it's all like bullshit with the. I mean, you know what I mean with the.
The yab.
No, with the science what they teach, and that and he says, oh, it's nothing, nowhere in the Bible that it's. I don't get it.
Check
Like
this
you
out.
didn't
Check
read
this
it
out.
or what?
LOP, check this out. 2 Samuel 11:11. This is in the Matthews 15:37 Bible. Tense upon the flat earth. It literally says upon the flat earth in 2 Samuel 11:11. So
Wait, is that in King James? Or?
no, in the Matthews 15:37 Bible. So it's a different translation. But if
Oh,
people say, oh, that's not in the Bible, well, you got to look, you got to go deep. And guess what? 2 Samuel 11:11. If you add that 11:11, it's 22. That's what.
how
that is
can you
the
read it
earth.
in KJV just so that I know the?
No, it's 2 Samuel 11:11. We can read it in KJV if you want. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, LOP, what is your position on a man having
Yeah.
2 wives? Because I see you asked a question in the comments about you said Jesus speak about having multiple wives. Let's bring that up.
Well, I
LOP.
asked that. Yeah.
Well, what's your
If
position?
Jesus
Is it
did
wrong to
talk
have more
about
than one wife
having
today?
multiple wives, did he or did he not? That's my question to you. Maybe.
Go,
Okay, real quick, I just want to establish, are you saying that it's wrong for a man to have more than one wife today? Just so I know.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what did the Messiah talk about?
Let me say
let's
this.
go to
Besides
it.
this.
Go ahead.
Let's go to it. Let's read Matthew 19 and 27. Let's read it.
All right.
Let's get to the money.
Yeah.
Let's get to the money.
I mean, I know obviously in the Old Testament, all the kings and stuff, they had multiple wives. That's obvious.
Here's the rule: if it was ever allowed by God, it hasn't changed. It's just a rule. Like if it's
Right.
ever allowed once, it's always allowed. That's just the way it is.
Hebrews. Wait a sec. Hebrews 13:8. I, the Lord, was the same yesterday, today, and forever. Right. So God never changed. Same thing. I'll give an example. With all the laws in the Old Testament, it's still the same today. The Lord never changed. Now, I'll give this example, dealing with the woman in adultery in, John the 8th chapter. In that example, the law does say that she was supposed to be put to death, but Christ decided to show mercy. And if you go to, we all should know it, Romans, was it 9:15, right? Who the Lord can have mercy and compassion on who he decided to show it to. Right. Just like how David committed a sin unto death. David slept with another man's wife, but the Lord didn't kill him. Right. So that was an exception from the Lord's law there. The Lord decided to forgive him for that. Anyway, I'll throw it back to Bible.
And I want people to understand that the teaching on Paul with one man, one woman, that's knowing that there's evil coming upon the earth. So you don't want many women because they're going to make you completely evil. So don't just one woman is the same. It's a subset of many women, so, but the real thing that's true, okay, and allowed is multiple wives. So one wife is the same as multiple wives. It's a subset. So there's no issues.
Like I said, you could read Matthew 19 and 27. It's going to give you the answer right there.
Yeah, I got that. Then Matthew 19:27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and follow. Oh, is that the one, or do we got the wrong thing?
Yeah. No, it's correct. It's correct.
Then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Verse 28. And Jesus said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye shall also sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And every man that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit an everlasting life.
Well, doesn't it say wife singular?
No, but he's saying shall receive 100-fold. It'll be multiplied.
Oh, yeah, but in this life, it's usually one wife. So I mean,
go ahead and get Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. That's a good one.
Yeah, I get your point, guys. I get your point. I'm just saying that, like, that was the old days. So right now, where do you have law that you can have even multiple wives? You don't.
No, we're arguing that the world says.
Wait a second.
Right.
Well, wait a second.
I know what the word said.
Wait a second. Okay, but wait a second, brother. You asked a question. But wait, the law of the Lord doesn't change. So the Lord judged the same way he did back then as he does now. So we can go in the Old Testament and see.
No,
and I brought this up earlier.
I agree with that. I'm just
so why do you ask that question, brother?
Well, because
it's okay. We're not trying to put you on the spot. It's probably a new teaching.
Didn't explicitly talk about.
LOP, let me read this. This is in the kingdom. Isaiah 4:1. In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Verse 2. In that day, the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel.
That's referring to the kingdom.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, as I said, we know that, what is that? 1 Corinthians 6 and 12, right? All things are lawful, but all things are not expedient, right? So, might not be the best idea to go around and get, more than one wife today, especially, today, if you're dealing with another side woman, they call that cheating, right? So you got to sneak around and hope that your wife doesn't see the messages on your phone. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but that's the curses that we're under. If you go to Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, it says the Lord created a new thing in the earth. A woman will compass a man. Right. So this is a new thing. Right. This is a new thing.
It is
considered. Let me say this concerning you women out there. There's no such thing as cheating in the Bible. That's not biblical. Cheating.
Yeah,
what the hell is that?
I was gonna say that
Go ahead.
That they get jealous. I mean, even if I, if you type on the phone or talk online with any other female,
anybody out there
get jealous as hell.
But anybody out there listening to a woman in 2021, I'll say this right to your face: you're a simp. Okay, you're an absolute simp. So you're not even supposed to listen to another man. You're only supposed to listen to God. Period. So that's just it. Can I read the rest of this Isaiah 4, man? This is a great chapter.
Yeah.
Let's read the rest of this, man. This is great. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem. How do people believe this is happening now? Listen to this, verse 4. When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. Okay, that's in 4:44. God's elect, they're going to return with Christ and with fire. Verse 5, and the Lord will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. Verse 6, and there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the day time from the heat and for a place of refuge. Listen to this. Let me read that again. For a place of refuge and for a convert and for a covert from storm and from rain. So how on earth can anybody believe that this has happened? Listen to this. Oh, washed away the filth of the daughters. Has that happened yet? Are you kidding me? Give me a break, dude. Just go on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean,
10 minutes. Figure that out.
Right. But anyway, guys, we're approaching 3 hours here, so I'm gonna have to cut the stream short on that because I gotta get up. I gotta go to sleep in a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna cut the stream, short with that. Let's see. My God, when did you say you get your stream time back, man?
Tomorrow.
Oh, you get it tomorrow? You want to do a show tomorrow?
Yeah, if anybody's free, I'm planning to do a 20, 30, 40, 50-hour live stream where I just read the whole Bible. So join me.
Well, I'll definitely join if it's 50 hours.
I'm going hard, dude, because we know that this is it, man. This is it. So I'm gonna go walk a flocka. But join me.
Let me say this.
We just gonna
Cool,
break
man.
down the whole book.
Let me say this though. I might be able to join, but it's gonna have to be later, at night, and then I'll be able to join that because I'm not available, earlier in the day, man. But anyway, thanks for everyone stopping by. I enjoyed the discussion. And yeah, I'll call that the video there. If anyone's watching after the live stream, go ahead and put hashtag. Let's see. Go ahead and put hashtag. We'll say LOP in the comment section. We'll give him a little shout out.
Nah.
But anyway, that being said, I'm gonna say shalom.
Okay, shalom.